Hey, baby girl, I'm about to go hop in the shower. When I get out, we head out to the volleyball tournament, okay?
Okay. Oh, can I use my the computer?
Oh, yeah, of course, baby. Of course. Hey, baby girl.
Yeah.
Repetition breeds familiarity.
Familiarity breeds comfort. Comfort breeds complacency or success. We're going for the latter rather than the former.
All right, good deal. Handle business.
Okay.
Hey, remember you're a beast out there. Act like it.
I will.
All right.
Let me see what he got in these emails. Spam. Overdue bills. Not surprised. Fuck the police coming straight from the underground. Young nigga got it bad 'cause he's broke. What is this? Sarah? Linda? Becky? Amber? Amy? Molly? Ginger? Heather? Karen? Oh, hell no. We are not having this. No, I don't want no Pancake Tuesdays. Oh God, delete. No, I do not want your lemon bars, Karen. Oh, my dad's gonna get...
Oh, man, I love the game of golf. It was a beautiful day out here today, wasn't it, baby girl? You didn't think it was a nice day today?
Well, I am sweating all over, so... No, I didn't really think it was.
Well, I mean, you got to drive the car. You got to drive the car, and it did have the hood on it, so it kept the sun off of you.
Yeah, but it had no air conditioning.
Well, okay, fair enough. So, we're going to get something to eat, right?
Of course.
Cool.
And you're obviously paying, right?
Always. Man, golf is a fun sport. Hey, I drove the ball pretty well today, don't you think?
Pretty well to the far right, yeah?
But, okay, even though I went right, my iron game was really good, and I was able to fight my way out of that.
Yeah, but you hit it into the sand. And you did that quite often, might I add.
Even when I went in the sand, my chip was really tight, so I was able to get out of there and get close to the flag.
After 3 times.
You have to admit, though, my putting game was really good, and it saved me a lot of the times from all of the bad hits I had out in the fairway.
And it only took you 11 holes. Listen, until you get a good golfing game, I'm gonna keep giving you shit.
I'm improving. I mean, since I've gotten started, haven't I got a lot better?
Yes, you've gotten better since your injury.
We don't have to talk about my shoulder, but I mean, that's another reason why it's coming along slowly, but, you know, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it.
Sure.
Do you have strong opinions and you're looking for a way to express them? Are you tired of carbon copy sports radio that infests the airwaves? Do you have creative concepts and ideas that you want to share with the world? Then this is not the commercial for you. This commercial is all about
Kinko's University.
That's right. Kinko's University gets you prepared for the podcasting world when you don't have the chops for it. If you're one of the many people looking to get into podcasting, but you just don't have the skill, Kinko's University is the university for you.
I want to do a podcast, but where do I start? And what do I talk about? Kinko's University.
Don't worry. Here at Kinko's University, the first thing we teach you about is OPP. That's right. Other people's perspective. So you can always have something to talk about getting it from another source.
Podcasting looks fun, but do I really have to do all that research and show prep? Kinko's University.
Absolutely not. Here at Kinko's, we have classes like No Preparation 101, where we teach you to get around all of that pesky show prep because we know you don't have the time.
I wonder what the best time slot is to get the most listeners. Kinko's University.
Don't worry. Here at Kinko's, we have a class called Recycling Ideas 101, where you can find a time slot that works and just jump in that slot to try to make it happen for yourself.
Kinko's University. I want to come up with new content and subject matter, but I'm not that creative.
Kinko's University.
You'll also take Regurgitation 101, which will help you come up with other people's subject matter that you can recycle and make your own. That's right, here at Kinko's we teach you how to get around hard work, getting new wrinkles in your brain, and having to work hard at your craft. Come to Kinko's, where you can take these top courses with top teachers. Most people that go to Kinko's graduate with Kinko's degrees, that's right, as master copiers. Kinko's University, for the skilled impaired.
Kinko's University is not a real university and is not accredited. You don't actually learn any skills. You just learn how to mimic people who have actual skill.
Underground Railroad Show with that ninja. All aboard, have your tickets ready because the train has arrived. Delayed or on time, it's time to get on board.
What's going on, fam? This is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, That Ninja. Hope you are enjoying the ride thus far. Right off the bat again. The train is supposed to pull out Monday afternoons, right around 5 Central. But life is lifing. Been a little busy. Monday was Labor Day. I was going to give you a show, but baby girl came over. When I say baby girl, I mean the great TSA. When I say the great TSA, there may be some that are thinking right now, who is this TSA that he speaks of, and why is he bringing this TSA up? Well, the great TSA and I had, we had deemed cooking dates, but we decided to cook. We were going to go get something to eat. She came home basically for the weekend, Labor Day weekend. She had some things to do. She had an appointment or whatever, so she came home and chilled for the weekend. And not yesterday, but Monday was the day that we got together. I also meant to try to do the show yesterday, but no, it is what it is. So we got together on Monday, and we decided to cook. We just cooked rice noodles and shrimp. Very simple. A little bit of seasoning and whatnot. We didn't even bother throwing the vegetables in it. I actually still got some rice noodles, so I'm going to make some with some vegetables in it. But that's another story for another day. But I had a good time, and everything came out quite well. She showed me a couple of things on the rice noodles, and we figured a couple of things out. So getting down to a good size, not down to the point where the texture is what I want. So, and I will say you're much better off buying the rice noodles from a Chinese market. Should I say Asian market? Is that more politically correct? Anyway, thank you for coming aboard. Truly appreciate it. College football season has kicked off. We've had week 0. We've had week 1, and tomorrow, Pigskin will touch cleat, and the NFL season will begin. This time of year, there are certain things that are clear to me. This time of year, I can look forward to the greatest reality show on television. The greatest reality show on television is the beautiful coordinated efficiency that is the game of football. A sport, a true team sport, a sport where it takes a unified effort from a group of individuals. A coordinated efficiency, where everybody within that coordinated efficiency has a job, and if someone does not do that job, it takes an extraordinary effort from the next individual to make up for the slack from that individual. It's the ultimate team sport. It's the beautiful thing. That's the purity of the game. People always do the debate about college and NFL. I love them both. If I had to pick one, for me, it's still the NFL. Not by a great margin, but for me right now, it's still the NFL. At the end of the day, it's not a long explanation. It's simply the best of the best. And again, I'm not going to miss any weeks during football season. If for whatever reason I can't pull off a Monday, like a baby girl says, hey, let's cook something, hey, you got it. Show's sitting up and ready, but you got it. And afterwards, I was going to do the show, but again, too late. Didn't want to start that late. Wanted to get in everything. So we had college football. I had a few thoughts on the NFL at the beginning of the season. And we have 5 runaway cows that I have every intention of getting to. Notice my verbiage. Every intention of getting to. Cows are the colonizer of the week for the uninitiated. But I ran off in the line and I did not clarify on one thing. For those who may not know what the great TSA is.
Hello, good people. This is a PSA from TSA. You are listening to the Underground Railroad Show at Spreaker.com. I am the great TSA with my assistant, That Ninja. I'm sorry for the lack of attendance. I was busy spiking faces and beating data dominoes. TSA out.
Now, again, she doesn't beat me at dominoes every time, but she does have a winning streak going. So for right now, so she does have a winning streak going. But, yeah, more games to come. But the great TSA was in town. We decided to cook on Monday, hence no show on Monday. Yesterday, had every intention, but had some things I had to handle. So, we are putting the train out today on a Wednesday. Sorry for the lack of notification, but that's why I'm BSing right now a little bit without the extra verbiage. As people pull into the train and we jump into some college football. Good first week. And again, as I said before, I need to see about 4 games from each team before I really know what I have with them, before I really can tell you what they are, what their identity is, how competitive I think they're going to be, before I can give you a true evaluation of what that team is. But after 1 week, I can give you expectations. I can give you what I see. I can give you at least what I saw and what I expect or what I'd like to see them improve on. So that I can do. Next 1 week, I will say, about the so-called football experts and their predictions.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
If you look back on those individuals for your football information, you definitely came up short. And you are not accurate in your prediction. But that's okay.
God is good.
But this time it's that Wednesday Eve, that NFL football Eve, as now they do games on Thursday night and one on Friday. But I'm glad about that. We're getting to that as well. But this time of year, we had 1 week, technically 2 weeks of college football in the can. I went to the A to check out a nice HBCU opener. The game was a good game, great atmosphere, great time with a slow guy, BM and his nephew.
Woo! Jesus.
But this time now, when we're right in the football season, the NFL is about to kick off as well. One thing's for sure.
I know there's a God.
When those games started, as 335 will say, at high school football time, high noon, when those games kicked off.
That's why I know there's a God.
When I saw the score going on the field.
That's why I know there's a God.
But we're going to be bombarded with games on multiple days for the foreseeable future. Multiple games of the great sport known as football.
That's why I know there's a God. God is good. Woo! Jesus.
Now let's get into it. Opening week of college football. And allow me to get that out of there. Let's do a quick check right here. All right, so we're good. Let's do the college football. And we have some early games on again. We don't have time to get into every game, but there are some games we want to cover and some things we want to get into. week of college football. I don't have any definitive opinions right now because there's no reason to. Also, second week with the camera on. Guess I'm going to stay with it at this point. We'll see about it. We'll work it out. My main thing about it initially was going to say on board and how it would look, but no, hence the eyewear. I think I'd look extremely distracted. Just FYI. Today's show. Today's show is articles versus ability. There are a lot of stories, there are a lot of predictions, there are a lot of things said about this season, what was going to happen. Who are the top teams predicted were the top teams that were the top alleged teams, the teams that were deemed to be the cream of the crop, but the so-called experts. But let's keep in mind, these are the same experts that told us that yours and Carson Beck for sure were two of the top quarterbacks last season. Such was not the case if we talk about actual production on the field. So as we come into this season, and we got closer, you saw where the game was going as far as who they were promoting. Again, since I'm not, for those who don't know, I don't watch mainstream, I don't care for it. Just for the simple fact that I don't feel that it informs me and or enhances the game, my experience, gives me anything for me to take with me or to process and, have some type of thought or form some type of opinion on. Because when I look at the game and I see football, they look at it and they look for, I don't know, they look for things that are going to attract people that aren't necessarily football fans. It's trendy or whatever. The game to me is enough. I'm being like that. The X's and O's, the execution on the field, whatever story comes from it, just organically, that's good enough for me. I don't have to reach for bullshit. I'm probably not going to come away from a game talking about, I'm never going to let something outside the game overshadow or covering what happened on the field. That I never do. Because what happens on the field is more interesting to me. After the game, if there's an exchange between them and some of the most, quite frankly, bitch-ass acting people, really it's almost within the job description, but a lot of the majority of the media, their job is to actually try to make a grown man upset on purpose. And again, some people might be raised to think that's okay. When I grow up, that's a bitch-ass motherfucker. Bitch-ass man, a bitch-ass person. What do you want to call it? That's a poor excuse for a human man, nonetheless a man. It's hard to respect that. Even if it's your job, quote unquote. But at any rate, articles versus ability, essentially what I was told and what I actually saw. I was told a lot of things about a lot of quarterbacks. Particularly the two quarterbacks that played for Texas and the Ohio State University. This is where I saw, I don't know if it was, yes it was. It was during week 0. Some game was on, and this individual said, to me, two of the top teams in the country, largely because of their quarterbacks, are Clemson and Penn State. Clemson and Penn State. So everybody in the country has more returning quarterbacks on all the teams. I don't really think Clemson did anything to deserve that type of praise. Penn State, the team is there outside of the quarterback. And as long as the coach doesn't care about addressing the quarterback problem, they won't have issues. But that's fine. Maybe the fact that they're outside university, if they're going to continue to cripple their team by being mediocre and not. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry, I just looked at the chat. They said the sound is awful. My bad. Let me see. I didn't check the basics, but I can do that now. I just assumed that was where I needed to be. My apologies. I usually check. Oh, come on with this shit. Okay, I see why. Hold on, let me fix this. Testing 1, 2. My apologies. I probably didn't really hear much of that shit. I should check the chat room, but didn't realize these settings weren't where they needed to be. Okay. Testing. I don't know what's going on in this chat. Testing. I don't know if I'm good now. My bad. I should have checked the audio. It's still jacked up? That's crazy. When I thought I was over this hump with this particular, still the same. Ain't that about a bitch? Okay. That's interesting. Okay. That should have cleared me up. Let's back out of here and do that again. All right, my apologies. Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second here. Do I have that's some wild shit. And I took all of that shit out, didn't I? I did. Okay. All right. Let's try this again. I haven't had any microphone problems in a while. I thought I was clear on that. Orientation setting by the table online. I don't understand what that means. You saying I didn't check it before, so now I can't fix it? That doesn't make sense to me. No? Default. Testing. When I whisper, it sounds better. Ain't that about a bitch? So, is that jacked up? Just a trouble. Got it on automatic. I'm surprised I'm having these issues. Let's see here. Testing. I'm playing with the volume level now. I don't understand why I'm having these issues at this point. But I didn't go to my settings and change it before the show. It generally is where it needs to be. Tell me if there's any difference. Wow, really? Yeah, I should be able to remedy this without having to do too much. I don't want to end the feed and start it over for an audio issue. But obviously I should have checked that before I got started. Huh. I was almost ready to give this platform a little more credit. Okay. I don't need that. The resolution bed on stage. Don't need that. I'm on the settings that I'm normally on. I'm so confused. Alright, so testing. This is fucked up. Alright, testing. I can try one quick remedy. This is wild. Testing. Okay, give me 1 second, man. Let me do something with this. I shouldn't have to stop the damn feed, but let me try something right quick. Let me give y'all something. This that bullshit. This is that bullshit. Once again, this is the end of our World Show, and since y'all can't really hear me, I guess me doing this audio right now doesn't mean much. That's Jack. Shut up, man. Give me 1 second to fix this audio issue. Give me 1 second. Let me give y'all something right quick, so you're not listening to dead silence. Hold on here. Okay. I tell you what. You know what? There's a reason I haven't played this. So can I do this? You know I can't do this. No, I'm about to play something. I can't play it because of the beat that's behind it. I can't do that. Just thought about that. Keep forgetting what I'm on now. I'm gonna play the Trump rap. I don't know if I can get away with that or not. That's funny. You know, I'm not even sure if I got that damn thing. Yeah, I can't play that shit. If I can play that, I can get away with playing this. There's some bullshit. Hold on a second. Let me crush. Let me put something on here that I know is original. Okay. Obviously, the audio is garbage. Give me 1 second. I'm going to fix this audio issue. Let me just give y'all something right quick. Okay, there we go. A little bit goody. Give me 1 second. This that bullshit, man. And I gotta take these damn jokes. I don't understand this little. Give me 1 second, man. I sure better fix this problem. Come on, man. Give me 1 second.
Welcome to the $25,000 Pyramid. I'm your host, Chuck Woolley. Today, the two champions need no introduction. Everybody knows it. Two-time champions, and everybody loves them. The Diplomat and Big Apple Bastard. Gentlemen, you've been playing the game well. Before we get started, let everybody know what you've been doing with your winnings and newfound fame. Diplomat, you first.
Thanks, Chuck. Well, Chuck, ever since being on the pyramid, I've been enhancing my entrepreneurial spirit. I went to all the corner stores in the hood and bought up all the extra hot South meat and the crackers, and out my back door, I'm selling South meat and crackers, and I'm doubling my profit, making a killing, Chuck. So I love the pyramid, man. Thanks for having me on.
Great job, Diplomat, going into that American spirit of earning money. Big Apple Bastard, what about you?
Audio check. Audio check. Mic check. Audio check. Is it better or is it the same? Better or the same? Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Better. Better as in y'all can. Is it audible now, or is it still garbage, or is it just better from the garbage? Y'all wild as hell. Okay. All right. Are we good now? Are we good now? Okay. Cool. All right. Let's for all the shit y'all couldn't hear earlier. The gist of it was Monday I planned on giving you a show. Baby girl was in town because of the Labor Day weekend. So we decided to have one of those days where we cook something. So we had a cooking day, and we ended up making rice noodles and shrimp. Sat around and talked about, school and whatnot. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. And I did, I talked to her about it, but she kind of slid it by. This weekend I'll probably shoot up there and we could talk about it a little bit more. But we cooked and whatnot. We did the rice noodles, broke them up beforehand, threw some hot water on them in the bowl, 3 minutes, stirred them up, got the hot water off of them, froze them, or chilled them right quick, shocked them, rather, I'm sorry, proper term. Shocked them right quick to keep them from cooking. Got the shrimp done, a little mix up, hooked up the seasoning. Very simple, very quick. So we got that done. We sat around and ate, chopped it up a little bit. And she was, telling me about her volunteer work, the musicians corner that I went to that a couple of times. Kind of cool. You got live bands, food trucks everywhere, a lot of people. It's cool. So she was talking about that and, talking about how she takes on, she's good friends with the person that organizes it. She wanted to get her an internship and all that stuff doing that, but, it's another story for another day. But her and another young lady told her to just not come the next day. They got it. So she was, in the chair just chilling, kind of telling everybody where to go, dictating things. She was talking to me about some of the people she's working with. Her first roommate, I know her. They're real good. They're real cool. And, she's good people. I know her pretty well, or just, know of her rather. being her first roommate. And she continues to tell me about, this young lady she met, and this person. And then she slides in that she met a young man, that she met a young man, met a ninja.
You're a devil!
She just kind of sprinkled that in there. She just kind of sprinkled it in there. Now, not in that way necessarily, but that's how it starts. She just kind of said it casually, and I'm sitting there listening. I'm like, did you just slide in that you met a person? So then, talked about it for a minute, said, he doesn't, he doesn't have a car. He's, if I remember correctly, from the synagogue. He's from Africa. That's a large continent. You know what I'm saying? That's obviously. But she said mainly, I'm trying to make sure I got this right. The two places that a large portion of the students come from. I think she said the synagogue and one more place. But she just casually slid that in. Just said it innocent enough. Then she was just telling me some things, this and that, they talked and he was cool or whatever, telling me about some volunteers that are lazy, hanging around the tent. She said he was hanging around the tent, but he was doing work, so it was cool. Not gonna say his name right now. Then she just okay, and then she said, he doesn't have a car or anything, so he rides the bus and does all of that. So since he was cool and everything, she gave him a ride back to school. Gave him a ride to the thing the next day. She said this so casually. I know what this is. We talked a little bit. We'll talk some more. I'm sorry. I almost forgot about that. I think I put that away in a different place. Oh, Jesus. I shouldn't have done that. I don't want to get off subject. We're going to jump right into college football, but I just thought about that. Felt I'd share my pain. She just slid that in. And then, she was telling me some things, this and that. She said, I can't really remember. I got his number. I said, ow! What the fuck? Hello, Mr. Tiller. It's pleased to meet you. Your daughter is a very nice person. I'm sorry, that was fucked up. God damn, what the hell? I digress. Okay, At any rate, let me introduce everybody, man. We're going to jump into college football. But at any rate, that was the reason why I didn't do a show Monday. Tuesday, plan to do once things got in the way. So you're getting it today. College football, the NFL is tomorrow. Couldn't let tomorrow hit without getting the show in, so let's get into it. Pigskin is in the air. Pigskin is in the air. The NFL kicks off tomorrow. We've had week 0 and we've had week 1 of college football. Title of today's show is Articles versus Ability. Articles versus Ability. Throughout the course of talking about games, which is what you're mainly going to get from me today, this is about just the games, man. A general assessment, what I saw in week 1, what I look for as far as improvement, general assessment. That's what we're going to get into today. College football, some thoughts on the NFL, which kicks off tomorrow. They're also going to have a game on Friday. A lot to say about that, but looking forward to the start of football season. Love this time of year. Concerning, I'm sorry. Get together here. But to wrap that up, I'm just saying, and she's telling me this, and she said it all casually. Because when she was about to go, I was about to say, did you just casually tell me you met a ninja and a foreign ninja on top? Well, I mean, it's cool. I'm just saying, you just casually telling me you met somebody from Africa that's real cool and everything, and he's kind of majoring in the same thing.
I would have bodies upon bodies upon bodies under me.
You really just casually, she was going to be like, she just kind of slid that in. She just kind of,
I would have bodies upon bodies upon bodies under me.
I'm sorry. I digress. I'm good now. I'm good. I shared.
God damn anybody who doesn't glorify his work.
Okay, I'm good. I'm good. Again, this time of year, college football is going, NFL is about to kick off.
That's why I know there's a God.
When that game started, you saw the pageantry, you saw everybody line up, you saw the coaches, you saw the excitement of the players.
That's why I know there's a God.
When the first good game of the day came on, and I really, really felt like now it's the start of football season. I didn't feel that way when this motherfucking game kicked off. When that one kicked off, I didn't feel that way. I was still happy, but it didn't feel the same. Later on, when I saw some competitive football,
that's why I know there's a God.
But let's get into it. Quick intros, and we're going to jump right into football. I thought about it. I've been saying, I said, you just casually said, you just really casually said that shit. Just, okay. All right, D-line. Sorry, I'm trying to get this up, man. Always something. Now I got this elongated. What is that? That's messed up. Man, you gotta be kidding me. All right. There we go. All right, let me do intros. First man aboard the train. We got the angry black man on the train. Let me know the sound is horrible. Thank you for that. We got the great Sidney Jackson on the train, who will still come aboard the train to a bomb drop for slapping the sauce out of his wife's hands when she tried to apply it to my ribs. Real talk, true story. TDSS event. Happened to grill at that event. Won't get into the details of that, but it was a great time. I would say, and again, I missed a couple of them, but I would say, in my opinion, that was probably the best one as far as attendance. I think that was the most attended and one of the best ones, and I even missed the bowling thing. And again, there are details about that I won't talk about. But as I said, coming aboard the train always to his bomb drop. Obviously, I'll move that up. There it is. Ah, that's funny. ABM said, sound is awful. You need to sign out and sign back in. Kind of did that. Sidney Jackson said, Ninja, your audio sounds like a clock radio speaker. ABM said, Sid Jack, is the sound awful on your end or is it just me? ABM said, Isaac Hayes, read the chat. We can understand every 12th word with the sound. Sidney laughing at Black Moses. None of this shit. What? Nigga, please. Niggas, I swear. Fuck you, you black motherfucker! All right, these are thoughts about the terrible audio. ABM said, it sounds like you're using a voice box to talk after trachea surgery. Oh, that's not good. ABM, you better call the Geek Squad. They service Acers 24/7. Acers. Very disrespectful. Motherfucker. So I didn't miss anybody coming in. Okay. Now that's hysterical. We have fellow Buckeye fan Al Thompson on the train. What's going on, Al T? Thank you for coming aboard, sir. Al Thompson said, remind me of Jamie Foxx on Spider-Man. That's funny. We got Sluggo the motherfucking Ham on the train. What's going on, sir? Everybody's tripping on the audio. Al Thompson said, the missus is like, what are you listening to? Broken ass audio. Am I centered? I keep trying to get centered. This shit isn't working out. He trying to get centered. This shit isn't working out. It is what it is. Sounds like a moon landing video. Sluggo, his mic is in the Kamala possession. Inside joke to a degree. Oh, shit. ABM said Ninja has Rutgers level Wi-Fi, but Ohio State background. How, Sway? Wow. ABM said Sluggo Nick is streaming Wi-Fi from Chattanooga. ABM said Nick spend more on his shades and background than on his laptop and Wi-Fi. Not funny, sir. All right, now we're good. Al Thompson said look good, talk good, sound good. All right, now we're good. Let's get into it and make sure I haven't missed anybody as I'm laughing at the chat. Okay, now let's see everybody. Where we at? ABM said Nick just got a supplemental NIL loan to get his audio right. You funny, sir.
Motherfucker.
Oh, sorry. Let me adjust that. It's a tad bit loud. My bad. All right, it's a little bit better. My apologies.
Motherfucker.
Sluggo laughing at Meta Ninja. Sluggo said, hopefully he's a cool ninja. Sluggo said, Nick's mind was in overdrive on the way home. He was having a full conversation with himself all the way to Huntsville. No, she was in Huntsville, sir. She was in Huntsville. Sidney Jackson said, take your time, ninja. That's fine. Sydney said, take your time, ninja. Umbaku might be cool. It is very nice to finally meet you. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh. Sydney said, y'all ain't shit. He might take you on a trip to some... He might take you on a trip to some moon now. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Something wrong? Yeah. It's just too bad you don't know what it is. Brother.
Y'all really going in on this? Al Thompson said, wait, what did I miss? Ninja getting offered dowries?
Who told you that?
Niggas.
I hate niggas, bro.
Sluggo said, whenever there's any whisper of that nonsense, my real reply is, quote, I don't want to hear any of that shit. And then I keep it pushing. Whenever there's any whisper of that nonsense, my reply is, quote, I don't want to hear any of that shit. And then I keep it pushing. Are you referring to the information that my daughter slid in? Or are we talking about something else? Oh, well, no. You're talking about those football predictions. Yes, yeah. You're right. Sidney Jackson said, watching the pale media have to backtrack on their golden boy, Archibald Manning, was a thing of beauty. The whites disrespecting all these greats like Cam, V.Y., Vince Young, Reggie Bush, and Deshaun Watson. Sir? First and foremost, thank you for preaching on the train. And a great point. All off season, Arch Manning, who else? All off season, Arch Manning. Now, actually, I'll say this. I didn't know they were hyping up the Penn State quarterback because I didn't think they were that crazy. I don't know how you fix your damn mouth to pretend like that's somebody that
At any rate, but I didn't even realize they were hyping up Clemson's quarterback, the Penn State quarterback. When they were talking about returning quarterbacks, and then I saw who they were referring to, I was like, the fuck? But Sidney Jackson.
You hear you? I hear you.
Going to have a connection issue. Really? So now we're going to have a look.
You hear you? I hear you.
Little connection issue. Now that's funny. But preach, sir. Preach. And again, righteously, I don't want to short you. I don't know if this is encouragement or not. I'm not sure what I would label what I'm reading in here. I hope this is I hope all of this is coming from a good place. That's my hope. I have my doubts. I hope all of this comes from a good place. Sluggo's telling Sydney.
Amen, preacher.
Al Thompson said, "Hey Ninja, I'm in the same boat. My baby girl went to Cali and got scooped by a Nigerian." That might have been the other place. I kind of forget. I got his name and everything. She just said that casually, and I was like, "Does she realize she's being courted?" This nigga slid it in. That's fine. I'll be up there this weekend. It's all good. Sluggo said, "Your OSU Buckeyes did not look like a top 5 team, but time will tell." Sluggo said, "Yes, sir, Nick. I'm referring to what TSA slid in." Oh, you are? Oh, your response is you don't want to hear that shit. I'm with you. Amen said, "Al, you would be on the flight too." Al, you would be on the flight too to Lagos. We got a man that was in for my very first show. Still rides the train to this day. None other than the great JBJ. What's going on, sir? JBJ said, "I see you still had that raggedy ass background." Sir, I take offense. I take offense to you calling it a raggedy ass background.
Who raised you?
I take offense to that. Again, as I told 334 on the last show.
Hey, slow down. Watch your speed.
Correction. Championship banner / towel, whatever. But this, what you call this is defending champs. That's what that is, sir. See that? See this right here? That's defending champs, sir. That's what that is.
You blind motherfucker.
I know that's not what you wanted, but you know what's available for now. Thanks for coming aboard, sir. JBJ said Al T making a special appearance after Ohio got the dub. Hey, listen, there will be okay. Chat room's open. Don't come in here attacking Buckeye fans, sir. Don't come in here attacking Buckeye fans. And I'm not here to pull any punches. I'll talk about how I felt about that game, and I'll get into it very quickly. Once again, JBJ saying Al T making a special appearance after the Ohio State University got that dub.
You're a devil.
You're funny, sir. JBJ always keep me on my toes. I appreciate it. JBJ, I have that one hasn't been retrieved yet, and I'm mad because that was I'm gonna have to go back and get that one. But great pull. Again, I'll give you replacements for now. JBJ said the voice box, huh?
Bitch, are you for real? Bitch, are you for real?
I need to find that one.
Bitch, are you for real?
Al Thompson, do you know where this is from?
Confused, bewildered, lethargic.
Tell him, Al Thompson. Tell him. The Ohio State.
Motherfucker.
Sluggo said the great TJ Finley is now a what? The great TJ Finley is now a GSU Panther. Apparently, he joined the program in May, but had to clear hurdles in order to play. He cleared those hurdles last Tuesday. Let's fucking go. TJ Finley is at Georgia State. I'm going to another game. I'm going to another game. TJ Finley's at Georgia State. He's cleared his hurdles. He's allowed to get on the field. TJ Finley's about to be the starting quarterback for Georgia State. This changes things. This changes things. Bomb drop to that. ABM said, dude been in school for 8 years, Sluggo. This is, if this is his fifth at the most. Slight chance this is fourth, but I think you're right about extra. I think this is his fifth. But it's no more than his fifth. If I'm wrong about that, then I'm tripping. Okay, I didn't know that. He's been around for a minute. I don't think it's been 8 years. I think this is definitely a fifth season, though. He's been around 4. He's been around 4 for sure. Nice, Al Thompson. He said, yeah, Ninja. We're talking about Vivacia. 2 can play that game. Vivica Fox and 2 can play that game. Nice ear, sir. I don't know if people really, well, you know what? They knew where that shit was from, I think. Somebody had figured that shit out. JBJ said, hurdles equates to NIL money, so Sluggo and crew had to drop that bag. Hey, sir, that might be the case. That might be the case. Such might be the case. The alumni had to get together and we got to put together that bag. Hurdles equates to NIL money. So Sluggo and crew had to drop that bag.
God is good. God is good. God is good.
In response, Sluggo says to JBJ,
Who told you that? Who told you that? Who told you that?
Hey, let's get into it, man. College football. First thing I want to get into. First game I want to get into was earlier in the week. And let me give credit to the great Jungle Brother. Jungle Brother brought up this gentleman. Jungle Brother did a good job of coming on and not talking about any mainstream topics, any traditional so-called blue blood programs. He came in and talked about all the quarterbacks you weren't going to hear about, you weren't going to see. Well, we were going to see, but some people weren't going to see. Some people might not have been aware of. Boise State taking on South Florida. Boise State last year obviously made it to the playoff, and I was fine with that, but where they had Boise State was outrageous. Not going to spend too much time on this game. But Jungle Brother spoke about a quarterback named Byron Brown. Byron Brown for South Florida. He was going to be the starter last year, got injured, missed a year, or maybe got injured during the season. I'm not sure on that, but he did get injured and therefore did not get to play for the majority or if not all of last year. And Mr. Brown came out and had an outstanding game against Boise State. South Florida defeats Boise State 34-7. But just to highlight somebody that, again, Jungle Brother had mentioned in that show, just want to bring that up because when he said that and he brought up a lot of other quarterbacks that I was aware of and a couple that I forgot about and one I didn't know about. So shout out to Jungle Brother for doing that. Complete quarterback Byron Brown had an excellent game, 16 for 24, 210 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, no fumbles. But on the ground, he had 43 yards on 14 carries, 2 touchdowns. Huge impact in the game, timely throws, timely runs. South Florida looked nice. Again, they were playing Boise State, but they looked nice, and I like what I saw out of that quarterback and Byron Brown. As a team, they need more out of their running game. Defense played pretty well, and again, they have some athletes out there in South Florida. There was some athletic defensive linemen getting after Boise State, the running game and their quarterback. Boise State had a horrible game all around, offensively and defensively. So what I'm looking for here is South Florida to try to improve upon that, continue to improve offensively, mixing in the passing and the running game. They need to get more out of their running backs. They have to get more out of their running game. You don't want I don't like when the quarterback has significantly more carries than any running back. And in this game, he had 14 carries. The closest running back to him only had 7 carries. I've never been a fan of that. I understand that your quarterback's a weapon, but if you don't have a running back, if you don't have at least 2 capable running backs, you are a piss poor recruit. And you're in Florida, that's either your inability to recruit or your inability to run an effective scheme that can utilize the running game. You have to fix that. But a good win for South Florida. We'll see what they're going to do in the upcoming games against more formidable competition. But what I did get out of that game was I liked what I saw out of Brown. And again, articles versus ability. I didn't hear a lot about him, but on the field he showed improved. So there wasn't a lot of off-season talk about him. There were no exposés or there were no spots about him and showing his family in the stands or anything like that. But he definitely put his talents on display on the field. So ability was there. He just didn't have any articles to match it. Good game by South Florida and Byron Brown. And since we're in the football season, Boise State.
Man, you sorry.
Made it to the playoff last year. That's fine. But they had y'all had no business having to bye. Common sense told anybody that. And I'm bothered that they still try to act like that was the right thing to do. And the playoffs was such a great thing last year. It was cool, but they got it wrong. They didn't. I'm not going to get into that. Another story for another day. But they didn't get it right. So admit where you fucked up. Fix that shit, and it can be better this year. But the Boise States of the world getting a bye was ridiculous. In the playoffs is fine. Getting a bye and completely dismissing the fact that their schedule is ultra soft and inferior and not rewarding people that play dogs damn near every week, that is bullshit. Anybody that decided that was okay.
You rotten bubs! You're all garbage! All of you!
I digress. Boise State.
Sorry.
Manhandled on both sides of the ball. You did not look good. Your quarterback didn't look fleet of foot and or in sync. If you play any more athletic defenses, I fear you might have the same problem. They're going to have to improve with quarterback protection and scheme. And they really have to do something about their run defense against athletic quarterbacks, which is hard to kind of defend. But, I won't get them too hard with that one. But you were in the playoff last year. You get a lot of credit. So I got to give you this business on getting your ass whooped.
What's the letter? What's the letter? What's the letter of the day? The letter of the day is L.
On the other side.
That boy is good.
Great game by South Florida.
That boy is good.
Nice opening. A lot of football left. Whole lot of football left. Nice opening. Nice way to start the season. And a quick look into the future. But before I do all of that, Byron Brown.
That boy is good. That boy is good.
Once again, Boise State.
Get your ass down!
Going forward, gonna do this for most teams. And let's make sure I'm right. Oh, yeah. Next game for South Florida will be against Florida. I'm interested in seeing that matchup. This coming up Saturday, number 13 Florida taking on South Florida. A lot of athletes on Florida, athletic quarterback. I think that's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting. Florida has a hell of a schedule, and even in a game like this where, generally speaking, they're thinking, okay, maybe this is one of the letdown games to get ready for what we have to deal with. South Florida's really not a pushover like this, and you never want to play that type of quarterback. That's never really that's never desirable. That's never something that you're looking forward to. So it's going to be interesting. But again, South Florida didn't run the ball that well against a Boise State. Against Florida, I'd imagine it's going to be even more difficult. So nice game for Florida. A nice way to ease into the season before they get into that murderer's row of a schedule that they have. South Florida taking on Florida next week. That should be interesting. Or this weekend. Talking about next week. It's already Wednesday. And again, I'm trying to make sure I don't expunge on some of these games too long or go too long on some of these early ones. But that was the first thing I noticed first thing I noticed when I saw some ability about somebody that wasn't talked about outside of Jungle Brothers show. So a nice game for South Florida's QB. Nice game. Nice game. Mike Vick and Deshaun Jackson both had rough openings. One for Delaware State and Deshaun Jackson, Norfolk State for Mike Vick. I won't get into those games. Early games, a lot to work on. New teams, new coaches trying to implement a new culture. It's going to take some work. Hopefully they both get the time to do that. And what I need to see from both teams, both coaches, is improvement during the course of the year. Maybe being more certain or steady at positions. I don't believe in swapping out a lot of quarterbacks. So all of those things need to be tightened up. But again, first-time jobs for both of these individuals. Just looking to see them improve and see the team come together and get better as the year goes on. Rough start for both squads. Won't get into the details because we have a lot to get into in the way of football. As I get into a few games, I'll stop, read, chat, and keep going. But Delaware State dropping their game 35-17. And again, I won't get into the details of that. We got a lot to get into. I can double back and just talk about a few things on that later on. But so much to get into. And I wanted to go ahead and talk about the two games that stood out to me. I believe that was Friday night. Michigan State taking on Western Michigan. Again, for me, I just wanted to see Aiden Childs, the quarterback for Michigan State, his improvement, what the coaching staff is going to do, how the team has improved. They did what they were supposed to do against a lesser opponent in Western Michigan. They defeated them 23-6. Defense did a good job of keeping no running game for Western Michigan. The top running back did not even amass 30 yards. Michigan State did a good job of holding them through the air. But again, just doing what you should do against a lesser opponent. Moderate game for Childs, 17 for 23, 155 yards, one touchdown, no picks, but he did lose one fumble. So ball security, that fumble was lost on a blindside hit, but you still need to secure the football. No turnovers as far as interceptions. That's a positive sign. Michigan State, again, needs to improve throughout the year, get better with each opponent as they reach the tougher parts of the schedule. They're taking on Boston College. Now, Boston College did lose. They did lose Castellanos. They lost Castellanos, who obviously is in Florida State, and we'll get there. But if that same quarterback they replaced him with is there, he has a good arm and he's athletic. So, again, Boston College, from an athletic standpoint, I would assume that they don't have the athletes that Michigan State has, but you never know. It only takes a couple. When you have an athletic quarterback that can kind of even the odds against the defense, it changes things. So we'll see. They're taking on Boston College next. It'll be a much better test than Western Michigan. We'll see if Michigan State can get over that hump of having potential but never putting it together and always losing those close games due to the inability to make a play and or turnovers. So that's what I'm looking for Michigan State to improve upon that. That was a big problem for them last year. Good win, nothing to shout about, nothing that stood out, no type of eye-popping performance, but a good game overall, and they handled business.
That boy is good.
No turnovers for Aiden Childs. I won't fault him too much on that blindside hit. But clean that up, secure the ball, get a better feel for the pocket. But those things are going to happen. Blindside hit he didn't see coming. But outside of that, solid game. No turnovers as far as interceptions. And that's really the only thing he needed to clean up from last year. If he cleans that up, that's a few wins for him right there from last year. Just protecting the football, advancing it forward, taking what's there. And if not, living to fight another play. Just live to fight another play, but don't turn the ball over. Don't hurt the squad. Good job of doing that.
That boy is good.
Michigan State wins 23-6. Colorado taking on Georgia Tech. Good matchup. Now, Georgia Tech's coach, as I said, I like the coach. I like the scheme. I like what he's doing. I can tell the team has improved. So I'll give him credit for that. I can tell what the team has done as far as their scheme. I feel as if he had a better or more complete quarterback. I feel as if he had that, he could. I feel that they would be a team that would be right there to compete for everything. And again, with the schedule that they have, they still may be. With that schedule that they have, they might be, because it is not a tough schedule from what I've seen. Not at all. So Georgia Tech defeats Colorado 27-20. I don't have to be elongated here. Georgia Tech did a great job of running the ball. And again, I think they have great scheme. Haynes King has good legs, has decent legs. He can run the ball fairly well. He's okay throwing the ball. He's not a great passer, not even close to elite. Not great, good at times, but not a good passer of the football. He's not going to throw anybody open. And if you put the game on his shoulders, as far as throwing the ball, Georgia Tech is going to lose more games than they win. If you stop Georgia Tech from running the ball, and that almost translates to Haynes King for the most part with the way that they run the offense, which again, I'll say, as I just said earlier, I don't like when the quarterback has more runs than your running back, or just as many. You have to be able to run the ball with your running back. The quarterback, yes, you can use him as a weapon, but if he's your top, your top rusher for the majority of the season, I don't think that's going to bode well. And he took a lot of hits and a lot of punishment. Great game, hell of a game. And he was definitely the reason that Georgia Tech was able to prevail. But Haynes King was 13 for 20 through the air, 143 yards, no touchdowns and an interception, 1 fumble loss. So 2 turnovers, less than 150 yards through the air on 20 throws. Dinking and dunking, and he still managed to turn the ball over a couple of times. Once through the air, and let me make sure there. Was it twice or once on the ground? Now on the ground, so through the air, Haynes King.
Man, you sorry.
A little dinking and dunking, semi-decent without the turnovers, but with that interception and with a fumble loss, not a good day through the air. On the ground, which is where he made his bread and butter, which is where Georgia Tech made their bread and butter. 19 carries, more than their top running back, 156 yards, 3 touchdowns. That motherfucker balled out on the ground.
That boy is good.
And that's Haynes King's top asset, is his legs. He's not a gunslinger, quote unquote. He's not somebody that can spin the ball. If you want to use that term. Haynes King is not going to be known, or he's not going to threaten the team with his ability to spin the ball. Georgia Tech's not going to win that way. They're going to win with a combination of both. That's ideal. But if Haynes King runs the ball this much, they're going to have problems. And with the coach's lack of ability or desire to get a dynamic quarterback, Georgia Tech, I think, is going to be right on that cusp. With this caveat, the schedule is favorable. The schedule is favorable. And again, I think he has a great scheme. So I think he's a good coach. I just don't agree with some of his personnel decisions. That's all. That's all. So great win for Georgia Tech. Now, on the other side of the ball, Colorado, as I was able to go back and watch the game because I was comedy shows and whatnot doing things. And if I have time, I'll double back to that later. But Colorado didn't play a bad game. Colorado had a piss-poor offensive game plan that did not yield enough points. The scheme was horrible. OC for Colorado.
Get your ass down.
If Georgia Tech's coach was the OC for Colorado, that offense would be dynamic with the ability of the quarterback that I saw that they had. And that's what I mean by what Georgia Tech could do on the next level. But, again, dude's best asset are his legs, and his legs won the game for him because Colorado couldn't stop the run. That was disappointing. So just to stay on task, Colorado, the offensive scheme was piss poor, and they didn't have the ability to stop the run when they needed to. Now, they turned them over 3 times. Colorado had 3 turnovers, and that's why I'm putting this on the OC with not having a scheme that really was going to yield points. I didn't see a lot by way of the design of the plays and the play calling and the scheme that would have led. I didn't see a lot of things where, oh, he just didn't make that throw. Oh, he just it what I didn't. There were other games where you could see players running open, you could see the scheme working. Quarterback simply couldn't get them the ball. That wasn't the case with Colorado. I thought it was a conservative bullshit game plan. If you have 3 damn turnovers, you are way too conservative or predictable or bland in your play calling if you can't manage to win that game when the other team couldn't even amass 150 yards through the air. You have to be more creative on offense and take advantage of what you have as far as your running back, quarterback, and your receivers. You have to scheme something that puts those players in a position to capitalize on their ability. And the coach did not do that for Colorado. That was disappointing. So I just felt like they didn't have enough offensively because of a very average scheme, very conservative and dull and not productive scheme at all. Great game by Georgia Tech offensively. Overall, they pulled out the win in Colorado. Great game for Haynes King. Overall, I didn't think it was a bad game for Colorado, just didn't amass enough points. Defense created 3 turnovers, so even giving up those rushing yards, every defense isn't going to be able to stop everything. They did a decent job through the air. They created turnovers. They applied pressure. They just gave up runs. And some of those were to the quarterback, which is sometimes hard to stop. Which is hard to stop sometimes, because, it's hard to stop the quarterback run, especially when it's organic through a passing game. And sometimes it's just difficult. No excuse, but it is difficult. Things, sometimes an outstanding linebacker, strong safety, or a scheme can kind of design something to stop them. But Colorado didn't do that. But with the 3 turnovers they created, the offense has to create more points. And I get a defense a little bit of slack in the sense that they didn't stop the run, but they did do a decent job through the secondary. They did get pass rush. They did create turnovers. The offense let them down, and to me, the OC let them down. But great win for Georgia Tech. As we get into their schedule, they're going to have some games coming up. Now, Colorado, and I was talking about this with ABM, their schedule is not tough. He mentioned that. I went and looked at it, and he's correct. This would have been a great win to pull off to really get into Big 12 play, but Colorado doesn't have a tough schedule. If they can improve scheme-wise offensively and become more disciplined in their key reading for the running game and quite frankly, their prep and their game plan, which is on the D coordinators as well, but preparing them to be a little more disciplined against the run, because the running game is more of a discipline thing. That's about reading keys. That's about, in football, all it takes is hesitation. You want people to say, oh, shit. That's all you want. Ooh, jab step. That's all it takes. That jab step is enough for that individual to get past you, that half a step, that half a click. So it's about reading your keys. It's about making the right reads and getting to your spots, being disciplined. That's where the running game comes in. Defensively, with pass rushing, a lot of that is ability. If you're athletic enough, you're going to make that happen. If you add scheme to athleticism, you have a nasty situation on your defensive line and or with your linebackers as well. As far as your schemes, your stunts, your blitz packages, you have something nasty when you mix athletic ability with great scheme. But with pass rushing and what your athletic ability makes that happen. You can be athletic as hell, but if your reads are off, if you take that wrong step, that's all it takes for a receiver to get past you, for a running back to get past you, for you to be in a position to get blocked because you've given up your chest. You make that wrong move, you come back, here's your chest. That's where the block's coming. So it's just a matter of discipline. So they can improve upon that. So I like what I see. They need more offensively, and they have to be a little more disciplined in the run game, just with reading keys and being patient and being disciplined. Just doing your job as far as the running game. Like the pass rush, and again, you can see the impact of a Warren Sapp because a lot of those moves I'm seeing, I saw him do that shit when he played. So the improvements there is there to be made, and there's a lot of football left, but not a terrible game. They came out on the other end. They lost by a touchdown. Can't win all of them. Good win for Georgia Tech. They have to get more out of the running game. Stop running Haynes King so much, or he won't last throughout the season. And he's going to be their best chance to win since they don't have any other type of quarterback in the wings that, has a stronger arm or more athletic ability. They didn't take the time to recruit somebody dynamic. Even if you want that, at least go get a Brett Favre. Had a little running ability, had a rocket ass arm. At least get somebody that, get one of those if you're going to get one. But he's kind of holding himself back with the level of quarterback that he has. But make no mistake about it, I was talking to a Raider for life, and I told him, make no mistake about it, as sure as I'm talking to you right now, Haynes King will go to the NFL. He said, Ninja, he's not accurate enough. I said, that has nothing to do with it. J.J. McCarthy is going to start on Sunday. That has nothing to do with it. Heed my words. Jared Stidham made it. Mac Jones made it. Sorry, 334. One more, and I'll read a little bit of chat very quickly on this one. Auburn defeats Baylor 38-24. I'm sorry, West Georgia defeats Baylor 38-24. I only brought this up because, and again, I didn't see any turnovers from Jackson Arnold, but Jackson Arnold transferred from Oklahoma. 11 for 17, 108 yards through the air. Very average, not very impressive, through the air. But again, it's not really about him. That's not a lot of throws necessarily. Obviously, they weren't throwing the ball down the field. I'm so confused as to what Hugh Freeze's scheme is. And when I jumped off the other game, did I give anybody their credit when I was talking about that one? Yeah, I think I did. We'll keep it short. Georgia Tech, good job.
That boy is good.
I don't want to kill Colorado, but you did drop that game, and defensively, you have to be able to stop the run in that situation. And again, offensively, they had an opportunity, and I felt like the effort and the play calling was terrible with the game on the line. With the game on the line, I thought, if your line really can't protect your quarterback, stop calling plays like that's the type of line that you have. It's okay to move the pocket a little bit. It's okay to at least put some. When the game was on the line, it was bad enough throughout the course of the game, but when the game was on the line, the choice of play calling was highly questionable. Georgia Tech shouldn't even have been able to get the ball back, at least not that damn quick. They have to do better. Have to do better. So, Colorado.
What's the letter? What's the letter? What's the letter of the day? The letter of the day is L.
Same situation here for Auburn. Now, this is a situation of proving that old-fashioned football works. Auburn simply ran all over Baylor. Baylor did not have the ability, much like Colorado, two Big 12 teams, interesting, but much like Colorado, they did not have the ability to stop Auburn from running the ball. Auburn ran all over them as far as rushing yards, almost amassing 300 yards on the ground, well over 250. And the leading rusher was quarterback Jackson Arnold. Again, for the course of the season, I don't think this is a good thing. And I thought Hugh Freeze had a more wide open offense, but all I'm seeing is dinking and dunking and a lot of running by the quarterback, which brings forth another question. The quarterback that y'all stole from Notre Dame that would have put Notre Dame in a position, as we've talked about Notre Dame, Penn State, if they would just get a dynamic quarterback, it'll take them to the next level. They lost that opportunity. Auburn got the quarterback they wanted. Coach came back and said he wouldn't have started anyway. And I find that hard to believe looking at the quarterback that y'all started.
Bitch, are you for real?
But Hugh Freeze, if this is the offense you're going to run, why aren't you starting a more athletic youngster than somebody that's been all over the place and, Oklahoma let him go so they could bring in somebody else kind of like him that's been around forever, but they're going to change scenery. But why did you – I don't understand. Like, if you're going to use him like this, if you're going to run him 16 times, an equal amount to both of your real running backs, the other two running backs for Auburn had 16 carries apiece. That's a lot of running the ball. That's a lot. They only threw the ball 17 times, 108 yards, nothing through the air. If you're running this type of offense, why wouldn't you put in the athletic youngster? He's much better equipped for this shit. It's so confusing. But I don't know what Hugh Freeze is trying to implement. I have no idea what culture he's trying to implement. I don't get it. On the other side, Baylor got nothing on the ground, very mediocre numbers. 54 was their top rushing number from their running back. The quarterback, Roberson, threw for 419 yards, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, no fumbles, and they lost. They amassed so many yards through the air, didn't equate to enough touchdowns, and they couldn't stop the running game. Therefore, Auburn held the ball, ran the clock, finished with touchdowns. But just looking into the future, just looking into the future for Auburn, I don't think you can play that type of football and be successful all season with the type of schedule that these teams have on this side of the SEC. They have Ball State and South Alabama next. Then you get into Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Georgia, Missouri, Arkansas. You start getting into the media schedule. It can be done. It might be an ugly way to win, but I don't know if they can impose their will and run the ball like that every week. That was a Big 12 team. But that lack of I don't understand why you're bringing in a quarterback and that's all they can do when you have I just don't understand. I don't understand Hugh Freeze's choices at quarterbacks. With the way that he runs the offense, all the quarterbacks that he refuses to put in the game will be better equipped to do the shit. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. But, do your thing, Slick. Maybe it'll work. But Auburn gets the victory. I'm sorry, West Georgia.
That boy is good.
Good win. Good win. Baylor, you fell short. All those yards through the air, not enough scoring, and the inability to stop the run. You can't let a team run all over you like that. You just can't.
I see dead people.
When it comes to the Big 12 and stopping the run, apparently.
I see dead people.
Baylor.
What's the letter? What's the letter? What's the letter of the day? The letter of the day is L.
Might as well get into the meat of the matter. Now we're going to get into the meat of the matter, the crux of the matter. I'm going to do a quick check on the chat room. We're going to get into the crux of the matter now, getting some of these alleged big games starting early on Saturday and getting to a lot of these situations. Now, I didn't hear a lot of articles about Auburn's quarterback or Baylor or anybody like that. I heard a little bit about Jackson Arnold, just a little bit. But a lot of these quarterbacks that were given credit, and I think the issue, the issue I have is why these individuals are allowed to repeatedly say things that aren't true, never be accountable, never give you a reason as to why they had these lofty ass comments. They never give you a reason for these inflated expectations, these undeserved articles and quotes, and this guy is this guy is that. And again, there's a lot of football left, but these individuals can't be close. My thing is, what did you see? Please explain to me what you have seen or who you talked to that justified the predictions and the people that you have highlighted for this particular college football season. I mean, please tell me what the hell happened. ABM said, Ninja, do you have the Vivica Car Shield sounder or the Golden Corral all-you-can-eat sounder? I do not, sir, but those are great ideas. You talking about her and Ice-T doing those commercials for is this shit for insurance? For insurance, right? Sir, I don't have that, but good idea. Sluggo saying Boise got humbled. They really did. They got put down pretty good. And again, we'll see how the season goes. JBJ says South Florida looked good and dominated Boise. Florida better not overlook them. And again, to clarify right here, JBJ is a Florida fan. And that's why he said Florida better not overlook them. They played a nice game. And again, quarterbacks like that can give you problems. He made some nice throws, and he is not the smallest motherfucker in the world. He made a couple of blocks. And, majority of the time, unless he's facing a lineman, he's probably going to be the bigger motherfucker coming down the hole, full speed, dropping his shoulder on people, which is what he was doing. And again, this is Boise. So it's a lot of football left. You're going to find teams with more athleticism. Running your quarterback all the time is a hard way to go. I don't agree with it. You have to get something out of your running game. You have to. And if somebody can pull that off for an entire season, give that individual credit. A la Mike Vick, a la Cam Newton. It's going to be interesting. South Florida and Florida. Again, it's with the realigning of all of these teams and what they've done with the conferences. We're getting a lot of good matchups earlier because teams recognize that it's not going to kill your opportunity. And there was a time when one loss will kill your opportunity. There was a time when you could do it early in the year if you're certain teams. But you could be undefeated, lose late in the year, and now you're done. It was one extreme or another. It didn't make a lot of sense. So there are improvements. There are those that have the opinion that it takes away because now teams look at it like, oh, I can lose. It's not that big a deal. I have pushback on that, especially if you're in the SEC and you might have had another loss. Then there were several slow down teams. There were several SEC teams that had losses that were better than at least 3 or 4 teams that were in the playoffs. Boise State, Indiana being 2 of them. In my opinion, Notre Dame, even though they made it to the title game, being one of them. But, them making it to the title game, they redeemed themselves. Boise State and Indiana, no doubt, and there's at least one more if I stop and think about who made it in. But there were SEC teams that had 2 or 3 losses that you put them on a neutral field. Or fuck it, any field. I don't think those other teams would have fared that well. Now, again, during the bowl season, I saw some interesting officiating for the certain teams had to deal with. But again, not the subject for today. Not the subject for today. ABM said, come on, Nick, 320 yards is inexcusable. No, it is. It is. It is. I'm just saying that they did some good things as well. I'm not excusing. I'm just saying they did create 3 turnovers. So even though they gave up all those rushing yards, the offense should have gave them some more points for 3 fucking turnovers, and they didn't. So Georgia Tech still had way too many rushing yards. They may have still won the game, but perhaps they're trying to tie the game or trying to get in position for a field goal to get a winning. Maybe they're trying to do that. They should have had a bigger hill to climb when they turned the ball over that much. There should have been a bigger hill to climb. And they got to improve on the run defense, but offense has to score some more when you get 3 turnovers. When you turn the ball over 3 times, generally you lose the game. But when you don't produce enough points. Sluggo said, oh, wait a minute. Sluggo said, I knew when Colorado didn't capitalize on those early turnovers that they were in trouble. Yeah, facts. Colorado.
Oh, you almost had it. You got to be quicker than that.
You have to be able to capitalize on those turnovers. You have to. And again, most of the time, if a team turns the ball over that much, they're done. So again, great win. Great win, because when you turn the ball over that much, you're not supposed to win the damn game. I'm sure there are going to be many Mondays, many days where we're going to say this team could have won the game, but they kept turning the damn ball over. JBJ telling me, I believe.
It's fact. You're right. It's fact.
And JBJ, great point. Same thing that ABM is saying. Nothing has changed with Colorado. They still aren't balanced. They still aren't balanced enough to try to run the ball, and they can't stop the run. And that's my issue. That's my issue. And again, great point. That's what I have a problem with. Those were your problems last year. You should have addressed the inability to run the ball and the inability to stop the run, and they haven't. So again, these are the things that we need to see improvement upon during the course of the year. I apologize. Y'all are going to have to give me one quick second. One
Welcome to the $25,000 pyramid. I'm your host, Chuck Wood. Today, the two champions need no introduction. Everybody knows it. Two-time champions, and everybody loves them. The Diplomat and Big Apple Bastard. Gentlemen, you've been playing the game well. Before we get started, let everybody know what you've been doing with your winnings and newfound fame. Diplomat, you first.
Thanks, Chuck. Well, Chuck, ever since being on the pyramid, I've been enhancing my entrepreneurial spirit. I went to all the corner stores in the hood and bought up all the extra hot South meat and the crackers, and out my back door, I'm selling South meat and crackers, and I'm doubling my profit, making a killing, Chuck. So I love the pyramid, man. Thanks for having me on.
Great job, Diplomat, going into that American spirit of earning money. Big Apple Bastard, what about you?
Well, Chuck, seeing how you didn't do like I told you to and pay me in cash, oh, my baby mama found out I got this money, so now my child support has been increased. Chuck, thanks a lot.
Well, Big Apple Bastard, I'm sorry to hear about that, but if you do well today, that's more money for your baby mamas. All right, gentlemen, let's get ready to play the game.
Yeah, won't he do it?
Yeah, he did it. I told you not to mess with my sister, man.
Hey, gentlemen, let's concentrate. All right, gentlemen, you ready to play the game? You know what to do. Here we go.
All right, Big Apple Bastard, man, you ready to do this?
Yeah, I'm ready, son.
All right, man, we know what to do. Let's handle business. All right, here we go. I was raised in so much privilege, I think everyone should care about my opinion.
Melania Trump.
Nah, but good guess. If you hold me accountable for my actions, I'll start crying and play the victim.
Oh, that dog-head bitch, LK.
Nah, man, but good guess. Hello? 911. I see some black people having a good time, and it looks like they have more money than me. I mean, one of them threatened me. Please hurry.
Oh, white folks in America with 3Ks.
Nah, but that's a good guess. I've screened rape throughout history so the whites could use it as an excuse to kill, imprison, and steal from black people that were better than them.
Oh, Playboy, why you didn't leave with that? That ain't nothing but that white bitch, Karen.
Yeah, that's it, man, that's it. All right, man, here we go. Now we rolling. When I hear house/techno music, I go crazy.
Oh, that sounds like somebody from Chicago.
Good guess, but nah, man. My wife shut down my show faster than the police shoot black people.
Oh, man, that sounds like somebody here pay.
But yeah, I really feel good about John Gruden, Mike Mayock, and the Raiders.
That sounds like somebody like Sanchez, one of the Raider boys.
Yeah, good guess. The greatest rap verse ever written was me, Missy, and Timbo rap at any tempo.
Oh, I got it. That can't be nobody but Magoo for life.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. All right, man, here we go. My favorite college team gets their ass whooped more than a white boxer.
Oh, that sounds like somebody. That sounds like Pee Wee Herman.
What the fuck now, man? My first business venture was pimping out white bitches to the community for profit.
Oh, that sounds like somebody checking.
Yeah, but no, man. I recruited a talented podcaster so my shortcomings would go unnoticed.
Oh, that sounds familiar. Kenny Jake.
But pretty good guess. When I sit down on a bench or a chair, I can hear it say, "Goddamn!"
Oh, one from the Fat Boys.
Pretty good guess. I've been repeatedly accused of laying aggressive and unwanted knuckles on the sisters of the church.
Oh, I know now. Deacon Delicious.
Yeah, player, that's it. Alright, man, here we go. In my childhood photos, I look like a terrorist.
Oh, that sounds like somebody from Iran.
No, man, no. I have so many different podcast shows. Jamaicans tell me I need to take a break.
Oh, that sounds like somebody put that.
My apologies. I think it was kind of fucked up to cut that off in the middle of it. And I actually tried to pause it. It might be paused, but my bad. But that was something that couldn't be helped. I had to take that call. So my apologies for that. But again, that was a disappointment with Colorado. They had those problems last year. They still have those problems now. And that's the issue. You have to improve upon that. And at this point, there's more football to be played, but if Haynes King can do that, a team with a good running game is really going to give them a problem. So we'll see if they improve on that during the season. But again, reading keys, being disciplined, that's what the running game is all about. We'll see if they improve upon that. We got the aforementioned Jungle Brother on the train. What's going on, sir? Who mentioned Mr. Brown for South Florida, who definitely showed out. Thank you for coming aboard. Sluggo said USF's quarterback would be a better asset to his team if he stopped seeking so much contact. And I was going to say that. He definitely didn't shy away from any contact. And I'll say this, in the situations where he did it, most of the time it was a cornerback and like they were there anyway, so he just lowered his shoulder to keep the motherfucker off his legs or whatever. Once on the goal line, he trucked somebody. But, during the course of the year, that could get old. And then again, as long as he's doing it to these individuals that are not of his stature, it might be okay. It might be okay. Oh, y'all laughing at the skit. Yeah, my bad for cutting that off. Jungle says, Sluggo. Bullseye on Colorado only getting 7 points off 3 turnovers. Yeah, that killed him. Not being able to stop the run and not capitalizing on 3 turnovers. So again, I guess a better way to say it, ABM, would be, I know what happened. Hold on a second there. That's what happened. Okay. A better way to put it, when I said that, a better way to put it would be, if you're going to give up the ass in the running game, at least contribute in another way, so they gave him 3 turnovers. Better way to put it. But if you're going to be insufficient in the running game, at least have some other asset. And they did create 3 turnovers. So I put that on the offense for not capitalizing on those turnovers, but you have to be able to stop the running game. So defensively, learn how to stop the running game. Offensively, get better at running the ball. And you have to be more aggressive than that. I saw an arm. I saw athleticism. I saw a bullshit game plan. And again, that's on the head coach. He's still staying with this coordinator. I think this is the same guy. The play calling looks to be somewhat the same. So they have to improve upon that. That is going to be necessary. This is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, That Ninja. Let's go ahead and get into the so-called marquee game of Saturday, first game of the day to a degree. I think there were other people on at the time. But Texas taking on The Ohio State University in Columbus at the Horseshoe. Buckeyes win 14-7, but let's really talk about the meat and potatoes of the game. And the main thing here is, let's start with Texas. Before the game, everything held true to what I thought before the game. Texas has a good defense, very good defense. Last year, I felt like the Texas defense was actually the better part of their team. They weren't heralded and talked about as much as the offense, but I actually thought they were the more consistent and more impressive part of Texas's football team last year. Very good secondary play. They weren't immune to pass interference, but there weren't as many moments of panic. When you're running with the receiver and for some reason you just panic and reach out and grab him with no consideration of who's throwing the ball. Majority of the time you're playing a quarterback that is either going to leave the ball short, which means if you turn around, it's going to drop right in your breadbasket, or they're going to throw it over the receiver by about 5 yards and or out of bounds. The quarterbacks that are accurate and can drop it on a dime, you'll realize that during the course of the game, at which point maybe you want to commit pass interference. But the majority of the time when that happens, they're doing the team a favor. because the pass wasn't accurate in the first place. Majority of the time, if they would just turn the fuck around and find the ball, they'd have it. One thing I'll never get, there are certain techniques you must adhere to play in the secondary. I understand that. Backpedaling is a thing. Shadowing is a thing. Watching the eyes is a thing. But when those eyes get big on their receiver, when he raises those hands, when the ball's in the air, he's no longer relevant. And that's the one thing that I don't think gets stressed enough. Once the ball is in the air, that's my goal. Damn him. And most of the time, if you find the football, you can just go after it. He's not relevant at that point. Majority of the time, the ball will be coming to you anyway, unless you're actually playing a quarterback that is consistently accurate. And I don't know if that's going to be the case the majority of the time you're on the field, depending on what team you are. So Texas, their secondary did a great job of not panicking. That's why they had so many picks. When the ball was coming, they didn't panic. And I saw so many times where the corner never turned around. He just ran through the receiver. And the ball dropped 5 yards behind him. It was such a terrible pass. So I think there was great coaching as far as their secondary and overall defense last year. And I saw a lot of that in this game. So the defense, I thought, did a pretty good job for Texas.
That boy is good.
But the entire offseason, we were peppered and saturated with Arch Manning, somebody who had played a little bit but hadn't really done anything on the field. Obviously has a last name, but let's just talk about the football aspect of it. All of this goofy shit, dumbass predictions by the mainstream about the Heisman before one game is played, which is always stupid. Hey, Heisman predictions before anybody snaps the football.
You're a goddamn genius. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160. You are goddamn gifted.
Why? Stop it. Arch Manning was horrible. This is how horrible he was. He was so horrible that Julian Sand is getting a pass for that bullshit that I saw on the field. But let's stay with Texas. I like what I saw from the defense. They did a good job. Their offense let them down. I believe that 100%. There were times when there was questionable play calling, but Steve Sarkisian does that every now and again. And he has moments where he has games where I have to give him credit. But I saw that same Steve Sarkisian that made me question his ability to call plays. In particular, on the goal line, when Texas had an opportunity, and for some reason, he ran Arch Manning on a quarterback sneak. You're more worried about making him look good and making sure your team looks good. Run the ball. What the fuck are you doing? Line up a lead back, run the damn ball, get the touchdown. Instead, you try to quarterback sneak a bony-ass, scared motherfucker that didn't want it. He wanted no parts of that unless it would have, if it would have parted like the Red Sea, or parted like a pair of Kardashian thighs, then yes, he would have been able to get the touchdown. But you ran a QB sneak with somebody that didn't want it? Very goofy. Dumb play call. Might have been the moment. Very well could have lost the game on that. But I really won't say that. This is how bad Arch Manning played. If Arch Manning would have made the damn throws that were there, and again, that's the difference. With, I'm trying to remember the team that I'm speaking about. Colorado. Okay, for instance, in this situation with Texas, the plays were there. The players were open. He was missing the throws. That throw that he threw into the fucking, you talk about nerves. To quote Bomani Jones, Arch Manning had one of the worst cases of onset lemon booty for 3.5 quarters. That first pass, that pass he threw into the fucking ground, that was extreme onset lemon booty. Extreme onset lemon booty. When he let that pass go, bitch, are you for real? To people saying, hey, it was just his first game. The first game of the year. Calm down. He was playing a great defense. No big deal. He'll be fine. Hey.
Struggling.
Actually, sir,
Struggling.
you're forgetting something. Yes, it was the first game. You know what that means? They were preparing for this team all fucking summer. First game. First scouting report. First film. First film sessions. He's been looking at and thinking about this team, meaning my team, all summer. The plays were there. This isn't about the first game. This is about his inability to make fucking throws. And again, if he was nervous, then he definitely is not the guy that they fucking hyped him up to be. Because he had Onset Lemon Booty. He was super tight. The opposite of a Kardashian. He was super tight. But to the credit of Sarkisian, outside of that quarterback sneak and a couple of other calls, receivers were running open. He was skipping the football. He was throwing the football behind receivers. He was high. He made bad reads. To me, either Steve Sarkisian or him had a love affair with number 13 because he threw the ball to him a lot. And I mean a lot. But overall, Arch Manning.
Struggling.
Arch Manning.
Struggling.
Get your ass down.
Hands down, Arch Manning, Heisman Trophy candidate leader going into the season.
Get your ass down.
You know he comes from a great bloodline.
Get your ass down.
You do realize that the grandfather really feels like, Arch has his ability. He's like the closest to what Archie used to be.
Get your ass down.
Arch Manning, if you were what you were advertised to be, Texas would have won that game. Receivers were running open. He couldn't make the throws. Made a few throws towards the end, and I'm sure that this will be pushed off as he was playing a tough defense. That had nothing to do with him missing throws to open receivers. And I think that's kind of the difference. I didn't see a lot of scheme with Colorado where they were just fucking it up and not executing. I saw that with Texas. Plays were there. There are several games that were like that. The plays were working. Quarterback just simply didn't make some of the throws. And that was the case with Texas. Throws were there. Plays were there. He did not make those throws. I'm not going to talk about his throwing motion and all that shit. That's been there. And again, this goes back to these so-called experts. What did you see? Did you see anything? Did you take somebody's word on it? Did the coach tell you something? You said, okay, he's great because the coach said so. What did you see that warranted all of the bullshit that we were hearing? Because I didn't see it in that game that he had all of that time to prepare for, and he had a coach that put him in a position to succeed, but he had Onset Lemon Booty. What did you see? I'd love to know. Arch Manning.
You sorry.
Arch Manning.
You sorry.
That's on you, Slick. And Coach Sarkisian for not recognizing, well, I can't say that. I can't say that. You did recognize his struggles, but I think the only thing the coach could have done, and again, he shouldn't have, if this motherfucker's your starter, you shouldn't be doing this either, but dedicate yourself to the running game a little bit more, put less pressure on him because he was folding. But he stayed with him. Arch Manning was 17 for 30, 170 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. That is piss poor for the Heisman Trophy hope.
Man, you sorry. Get your ass down.
No 100-yard receivers. No 100-yard rushers. And Arch Manning actually had 10 carries. I don't know how many of those were simply running out of the passing game organically, pocket collapsing, and he had to get out. He saw something. And I don't know how many were called runs outside of that one terrible call on the goal line. Arch Manning, very underwhelming game. And again, I think this is the only thing that overshadowed the individual that I have a bone to pick with. The individual I have a bone to pick with, and the rather, maybe not so much him. the coaching staff that I have issue with. But Texas, I thought it was a nice defensive showing. You did your job. Your offense let you down. And when I say offense, I mean your quarterback and your coach with his play calling. Because when he kept missing receivers, you maybe should have leaned on the running game just a tad bit more. Game was never really out of reach. It's not like Ohio State was on some type of offensive explosion or some shit like that. It definitely wasn't that. But Tejas.
Man, you sorry.
What's the letter? What's the letter? What's the letter of the day? The letter of the day is L.
And what I would say is that just take the time to remember these things. Remember the outrageous statements and predictions and unfounded glory that they give to certain players. And watch and or wait and see if it comes to fruition. Just sit around and wait. Okay, is this shit actually going to happen? Is this going to come to fruition? Is this really a thing? Are they really that type of player? And 9 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, they're full of shit. I think if you notice that enough times, you'll stop regurgitating, repeating, and or believing the things that they say because they are wrong more times than not because they're not basing this on football ability. They're basing it on poor upbringing and agendas, which is why you get so many, quite frankly, fallacies when it comes to so-called predictions for football. It's a lot of fallacy. A ton of fallacy, rather. On the side of the Ohio State University, the team that I root for. Let's just say this. Congratulations on the win. That's what matters at the end of the day.
That boy is good.
Good win.
That boy is good.
Defense. Like what I saw. Great job.
That boy is good.
Now. If he makes and completes some of those throws, numbers are different. Outcome is possibly different, but we can't do ifs, ands, or buts. If it was a fifth, we'd all be fucked up. If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a fat ass. It's all good. Great defensive showing. Good job by the defense. Texas ran the ball. It's not like they didn't have rushing yards. It's really a matter of not doing it more. 80 yards on 16 carries isn't bad. More rushes probably means more yards for those running backs. So, again, I think that's a coaching thing. Your quarterback wasn't on. He didn't recognize that. But, again, we'll see what happens. But I need to see more from an individual with all of the credit he's been given without putting in work on the field. I need to see more from somebody who's supposed to be the alleged top quarterback in football. This sounds so familiar. Oh, that's right. They do this every year. They're dead ass wrong. And it's always the same type of quarterback that they seem to lean towards. But, I'd say just pay attention. If you pay attention, you'll notice the pattern. They do this a lot. And by this, I mean come up with unfounded predictions and unfounded glory for players that haven't done anything to earn it. And with that being said, Ohio State wins this game 14-7. And I'm glad we won. And the defense, I think they did a good job.
That boy is good.
Now, as a team,
Man, you sorry.
overall, I wasn't impressed. Good job by the defense. Good job. Great job. Pretty good job. Offensively, won the title last year, and my main issue, and I said this then, is that they made terrible decisions on the way to winning the title and got away with it. Therefore, they think that what they did is right. This could be dangerous. The only thing that really saves us is the schedule that we have is not that tough. They brought in Sand last year. Aaron Nolan was brought in, who was recruited. They immediately shitted on Aaron Nolan, put him at the bottom of the depth chart to let him know that they weren't interested in him. Julian Sand had this unfounded credit for play that I hadn't seen. When he played against South Florida, he looked terrible. When he played in the spring game, he was not impressive. Aaron Nolan, with the little bit of time that he got, looked more impressive than most of them, considering they had all been there except for Sand and I think one other person they may have brought in. Julian Sand, 13 for 20, 126 yards, 1 touchdown. No turnovers. 2 yards on the ground. This quarterback that I've been hearing about for 2 years now, hearing about his arm, how strong it is, what he can do, was 13 for 20, 126 yards and a touchdown. And again, to all the same people that are saying things like, it's the first game and they were playing Texas. You're right. The first game they've been preparing for months, scouting for months. And it was exactly what I thought it was going to be, unfortunately. 2 teams with quarterbacks and you didn't know who they were and they needed to show me something. Neither did. I know Arch is getting criticized, but Sand is not getting enough criticism. I even heard goofy shit where solid game. No, the fuck it wasn't. 13 for 20, 126 yards. There's so much wrong here. Again, defensively, good. We're all for that. Offensively, we have a new OC, Brian Hartline. I felt the play calling was kind of conservative. But then again, looking at that quarterback, I see why. He did not anticipate. It feels like I'm repeating the Honda McCord shit again. He did not anticipate throws. He was late on throws. He does not, in any way, shape, form, or fashion, have a strong arm. There was no zip on the ball. I saw all these articles. I heard all this commentary about both of these quarterbacks, and neither one of them showed a goddamn thing on the field.
I see dead people.
Julian Sand was horrible. The touchdown pass that he had, Carnell Tate did all the work. It was short, but he did something that me and my best friend talk about all the time that you've heard ABM mention. He turned around and high-pointed the football because the pass was not a good pass. It was more of a great catch. There was nothing impressive about what Sand did. The play calling was a bunch of dump-offs and short passes, occasional shots that his weak-ass arm did not do much with, and he did not have any. He wasn't throwing anybody open. He wasn't dropping the ball in tight holes. What the fuck did you see from Julian Sand to make him the starter, to bring him in, to shit on a recruit that you never gave a real opportunity to? Why did y'all do this shit? Now it's the first game. Things can improve, but why the fuck did you do that? This motherfucker looks extremely average. I couldn't believe that bubblegum ass arm he had. That is in direct contrast with the things that I heard about his ability. I get off of it. Offensively, I was not impressed at all. At all. If not for superior talent. We won the game. Offensively.
Man, you sorry.
Julian Sand.
Man, you sorry.
Coaching staff.
You're a goddamn genius. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160. You are goddamn gifted.
Coaching staff.
You rotten bums! You're all garbage! All of you!
Carnell Tate, 2 catches, 49 yards, and a touchdown that he had to go get. Jeremiah Smith, 6 catches, 43 yards. Missed on multiple occasions. And yes, he had a drop or 2, but missed on multiple occasions. If I don't see serious improvement in some...
Well, he had a shoulder injury, and that's why he didn't have the zip on the ball. I mean, he lost his baseball card collection, so you can tell he wasn't there mentally. I mean, he's much better than that. You'll see. Unless I see something, please show me something. Please tell me you didn't see this shit in practice and decided, my God, we have our quarterback of the future. What the fuck did he ever... I need to see something that justifies the way that y'all treated Air Nolan in putting him higher on the depth chart and making him the starter. He never really had to earn it. Y'all knew that motherfucker was going to be the starter when you brought him in last year. You already knew what you were going to do for the future. You already know what you wanted. And that's what the fuck I see. Man, get the fuck.
Okay. Almost 30 carries on the ground, which is more than the 20 passes that he had. But if that's all he can do, he's not fast at all. He's very, very average speed. Average arm, not anticipating throws, can't even throw the deep ball. Again, very Honda McCord. Reminds me so much of Honda McCord. And a great defense has nothing to do with missing receivers, not getting the ball to him, not recognizing the coverage. He was so damn underwhelming. I don't understand. He couldn't have been more underwhelming with the way that he played. He looked like ass. Julian Sands should be getting way more criticism than Manning. Be getting the same because he looked terrible, dude. The one touchdown, he didn't even do shit. I'm perplexed and annoyed that this is the starter, and this is all I'm seeing. Again, the articles told me one thing, but I didn't see it on the field. Same with Arch, same with Julian Sands.
Man, you sorry.
There's a lot of football left to be played. Again, we're lucky enough to have a soft-ass schedule, which is going to help. But I didn't like that, and I was extremely bothered by that. Again, playing Grambling. We have Ohio, Washington, Minnesota, Illinois, Wisconsin, Penn State, Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers, that school up north. That schedule isn't shit. We're going to get away with this because we have a lot of talent and because of the schedule that we're playing. We don't even play Maryland. Maybe Maryland doesn't have to play us, but we play Penn State. But again, since they have a garbage quarterback, it equals out. UCLA, maybe they're playing better ball by then, but I don't know. Wisconsin's kind of competitive. Illinois, if you're not careful. What I will say is if we don't come out of this schedule, yes, if we're not unscathed on the way to go play that school up north, I'm extremely disappointed in this team and coaching staff. And the only viable loss, really and truly, should probably be Penn State. The only viable team. Maybe Wisconsin. It is at Wisconsin. We do have Julian Sands. Stranger things have happened. But with our talent, what I've heard about the man, if we have no business not being undefeated going into the last week of the season. Worst case scenario, 1 loss. And I find that insulting. I wish the schedule was tougher. I wish the schedule was tougher because, again, after winning that title, they think they can get away with this shit. They're not going to get criticized for it, really, because of who the quarterback is. So I'm bothered. It's shaping up like it's going to be what it was last year, a very shaky season, sliding by because of our schedule and trying to turn it on during the playoffs. And once again, that play calling, very conservative. Surprised by that with Brian Hartline being a new coordinator. He was kind of a possession receiver. Maybe he wants to cater the game to, for receivers like him to shine. But again, there were plays to be made. I don't think he can make them. And if that's the case, why is he the starter? I'll get off of it. We won the game, but coaching staff, we won the game, and during the course of the season, I'll see. But for now, at the quarterback position,
What's the letter of the day? The letter of the day is L.
and I'm going to stop. That's the last one I'm going to be overly detailed on. Trying to just kind of not run through, but trying to get through these. But I'll try to keep up with the chat as I'm going, especially when it's concerning the current games that we're talking about. Jungle Brother said, if Colorado can get some SEC linebackers and a hard-hitting safety, they'll have a chance. And generally speaking, in a running game like that, I'll say, it's a linebacker thing. It could be scheme, could be the linebackers, but I'll say a combination. But it's really, running game is more about discipline, scheme, coaching. It's more about the discipline and being in position and making the play once you're in a position. But again, athleticism can not save you, but it pass rush, using your ability to chase somebody down and whatnot. That's athleticism. And when you combine that with scheme, it's a nasty thing. Running game, athleticism definitely helps. But if you're disciplined in your reads, along with your athleticism, it can be a nasty thing. They just have to get there. Sluggo saying nothing looks special about either of the two quarterbacks that played during that big noon kickoff. Nothing at all. It was very disappointing. And as I said before the game, again, to these so-called football experts.
Oh, you're on something, all right. Must be some powerful shit, too.
Has to be. Has to be. Jungle Brother said 5 for 10, 28 yards in the first half. Little Manning, a damn genius. Little Manning, a damn genius at reading Matt Patricia's bum-ass defense.
You're a goddamn genius. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160. You are goddamn gifted.
And I forgot about Patricia being our D coordinator. And the defense did a great job. They did a great job. But, again, he had plays to make. He just couldn't make the throws. And sometimes he made bad reads. And he seemed to be force-feeding the ball to 13. But, you know, a lot of football left. We'll see. Jungle said Matt Patricia was going out his way to help Little Manning by only rushing 4. Little Manning was struggling. Definitely.
Struggling.
Sidney Jackson said not only did Archibald Manning play bad, his mechanics and form were all bad. Throwing off his back foot, side-arming passes. 100%.
Get your ass down.
And if you don't do that successfully, you're supposed to get looked at funny. But again, you know, melanated quarterback would definitely get criticized for not having proper form. That's one of their favorite things to do. Even when he makes the fucking throw perfectly.
Well, you know, he didn't have proper form. The ball was not in good relation to his ear hole. But, you know, it was, if you dared to listen to any of the commentary, I doubt they were being critical of these quarterbacks. Not to the level they would be if they didn't like them. Sand was awful. He was absolutely awful. Sluggo said teams will stack the box until Arch can prove that the moment is not too big for him. Yeah, facts. Sluggo said Cam Ward's debut for Miami against an SEC defense, Florida, was 26 of 35, 385 yards with 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. When a player has it, he demonstrates it early. I doubt those 2 great white hopes will improve. Go back. I doubt those 2 great white hopes will improve appreciably for the remainder of the season. And, sir, well said. And I agree. When a player has it, they show you. And nothing about the way that they played showed me anything. Manning, Sand, several other quarterbacks that we will talk about, but preach.
You're right. It's fact.
As it ticks away, let me get back into some of these games. I want to speak briefly about the NFL, and I will apologize if I have to put these cows on layaway again, but life be lifing. I do apologize, and it's no disrespect. And I have to get to those, and I have to deal with the fact that it's going to piss me off, but it is what it is. Syracuse took on Tennessee, and again, it's just Syracuse. This is what I'll say about Tennessee, is they win 45-26. Bringing in Aguilar, and he was Appalachian State or some shit. He was playing somewhere like that, if I remember correctly. Now, at one point, Tennessee allowed Syracuse to get back in the game, something they did a lot last year. As I said, if Heupel wants to be a football coach, they do well. If he's the brisket salesman, they have these issues to where the team will not continue to be aggressive. To keep it short and sweet, if they are aggressive and throw the ball down the field and continue to score, if they stop settling on a score and being conservative and keep throwing those stupid-ass tunnel screens, if they run the ball as well as mix in throws down the field, they can be a factor. Hell, they made it to the playoffs last year. And if he does what he did in this game because they needed it, actually throws the ball down the field and is somewhat aggressive, they can do a lot because they have the ability to run the ball. They have defensive players. They have athletes. But if they're inconsistent like they have been the last 3 seasons, I feel they'll always come up short. They win against Syracuse. Syracuse was making a comeback. I thought for a second, is Tennessee really finna let them come back? They haven't learned anything. And they opened it up a little bit, threw the ball down the field. Aguilar made some plays. 16 for 28, 247 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, 1 fumble lost. On the ground, Thomas had 92 yards on 12 damn carries. Only 12 carries. He needs some more carries. 82 yards for Bishop on 11 carries. Tennessee ran the ball very well. Neither running back had 15 carries. Both were less than 20 yards short of 100 yards. The only reason they didn't get 100 yards is because the coach didn't give them the ball more. They have the ability to run the ball. They can throw the ball. The quarterback is a complete quarterback. He can move around. They have a solid defense. They have to be consistent on offense. If they do that, much like last year, they can be a factor at the end of the year. They kind of fell into it last year because they gave up games they didn't have to. You might lose, but don't lose for lack of effort and lack of game plan. Good win by Tennessee. It was just Syracuse, but it was more for me about they had to bring in another quarterback, the offensive scheme, being aggressive. There were times when the team was coming back on them, and instead of actually trying to score, it was the same old thing, just run, tunnel screen. In this situation, when Syracuse was making a comeback, they were aggressive. They had scheme, they ran it, but they did play action. They threw the ball down the field, took shots. And with Tennessee, a lot of the times, those shots are good because they run the ball so well, and they do so much dinking and dunking and precision passes as far as slants and other things in the route tree. So a lot of their go routes, a lot of their out and ups, a lot of their give and goes, they're open in the scheme. That's what frustrates me with Hypo. He has a good scheme, but it's like he doesn't want to use it all the time. I never understand that. Tennessee defeats Syracuse 45-26. Solid game from their new quarterback. And again, Syracuse, black head coach that came from Georgia, but he loves his mayonnaise quarterbacks. Loves his mayonnaise quarterbacks. We'll see what happens at Syracuse. Again, that was not a conference game for them. Quick mention, Alabama A&M, much like Georgia State, went to get paid playing Arkansas. Arkansas wins 52-7, as they should. Again, the only thing to see here is you should dominate a team like this. That's why you bring them in. Arkansas did that. Taylor Green, and again, I want to make sure I don't forget this theme as I talked about that game, and I don't know if I gave proper props. I didn't. Tennessee, great job. Give you props. Good game.
Oh, it's good.
Syracuse.
What's a letter? What's a letter? What's a letter of the day? The letter of the day is L.
Once again, articles versus ability. I heard a lot about Arch Manning, Julian saying Aguilar looked better than both of them. And Tennessee is a viable team. I think it's okay to talk about. I think true commentary talks about everybody. You don't focus on a couple of people because that's your agenda, especially when there's nothing there. I saw something with Aguilar. It's early. It means nothing. There's a lot of football left, but at least I saw something. And again, playing Syracuse, yes, but fairly well coached and coming from has a coach that specializes in defense. They are in Syracuse, but it's more for me. It's more about quarterback's ability and the coach's play call. And that I did find impressive. But Aguilar, that was way more impressive than anybody that I saw articles written about. So really, it's about ability and execution. And again, with Tennessee, when you're running the ball basically for 200 yards, as I look at they ran the ball for 200 yards, threw for almost 300, and that's really just a matter of how aggressive you want to be. So Tennessee is still a complete team. They have the players and the athletes. And if they choose to, in my humble opinion, they can be a factor. Like them being all the way down at 24, just because the last thing you saw from them was an ass whooping, and having somebody like Clemson in the top 10, that's fucking laughable. But again, the people that are kind of, placing things. But Arkansas handles business against a lesser team, Alabama A&M, around the corner, literally from where I'm at. Nothing to see here. I will say Arkansas took this time to it. My thoughts on Arkansas. One is if the head coach gets out the way and allows that offense to be dynamic, I think they'll be a factor. If they score 35 points a game, they're going to be hard to beat. That's one score a quarter plus one. That's not a lot. Now, when they talked about returning quarterbacks, they didn't mention Taylor Green. They didn't mention Aiden Childs. They did mention my man from South Carolina. They mentioned him. They didn't really bring up Lagway. They didn't really bring up Castellanos. So when they talked about returning quarterbacks, I think in a lot of cases they focus on the wrong returning quarterbacks. So I just look at the ability and what they did on the field. And again, playing nobody, I get it. But he did what he should do against a lesser team. 24 for 31, 322 yards, 6 touchdowns, no turnovers. My main thing about that isn't really that he did that. I know he can do that. It's more about the play calling and the willingness to be aggressive. If Arkansas, they have to do that to be a factor. Arkansas can be a factor towards the end of the year if they do that. They have athletes everywhere. They have a solid team. They have a returning quarterback with all the ability in the world. They have an offense that will allow them to score points if they're allowed to do that during the year. They also have a motherfucker of a schedule. So they have absolutely no time for Tennessee-like tendencies to where the game plan doesn't match somebody that's actually trying to win. The game plan is for somebody that's hoping to win. They have to continue to be aggressive, let Taylor Green play, and take advantage of the fact that you got one of the better quarterbacks in the country. Arkansas, one hell of a schedule. They have one hell of a schedule. This game, LSU taking on Clemson. Again, these two quarterbacks, a couple of more of the quarterbacks that had articles versus ability. And again, I don't want to, I'll bring up Tennessee's quarterback. They played Syracuse at least. Arkansas played A&M, so I can't really talk about Taylor Green like that. LSU defeats Clemson 17-10. Prior to the game, I said if Nussmeier is half of what they make him out to be, LSU will win this game. Talent everywhere. They're the better team, in my opinion. They defeat Clemson 17-10. In an underwhelming football game, in my opinion. Nussmeier was 28 for 38, 230 yards and a touchdown. Okay. Not a bad game. Not a bad game. And again, this is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, That Ninja. Got that. Get that. Okay. Make sure I didn't miss anything on the notes. Nussmeier, semi-decent game. Decent game. But 38 throws, almost 40 throws, 230 yards. It's not a terrible game, but it's a horrible game for somebody that's getting all of the credit that y'all were giving them. And again, you're playing a real opponent. I get that. But almost 40 throws is a lot. Durham had 74 yards on 17 carries. Seems like if you get a few more carries, he'll easily get over 100 yards. You can definitely shave off some of those throws from Nussmeier, almost 40, and only amassing 230 yards. Not impressed. 2 yards on the ground on 4 carries. That's interesting. LSU wins because, to me, they have superior athletes and a superior team to Clemson. So LSU wins, but off the bat, not overly impressed by Nussmeier against Clemson. And again, this is Clemson. Clemson, not necessarily. I know they're ranked high. I think they might have had them ahead of LSU again, which is bullshit. I'm not a fan of Nussmeier, but Clemson is not better than LSU. LSU is always stacked. They always have athletes every damn where. They're always in a position to compete. And you saw what happened when a quarterback, a once-in-a-lifetime type quarterback, and Jaden Daniels could cover up all of his coaching staff's mistakes. Nussmeier can't do that. When Jaden never, if he threw that many times, he had 300 without trying. But he might have been in the high 300s if he did some shit, if he threw that ball that many times on a regular basis. But good win for LSU, but I think this is more about LSU again. Y'all won the game. Good job.
Oh, it's good.
Nussmeier, you did okay, but I can't give you a baller for that. Can't do it. Clemson. Again, Klubnik, 19 for 38, 230 yards, no touchdowns, and an interception. Garbage.
Man, you sorry.
As I've been saying this last 3 seasons, pay attention to the complete quarterbacks. They do the same numbers, and most of the time better numbers, as their Caucasian counterparts with less attempts. Both of them had 38 throws. Watch as I go through these numbers in some of these games. 230 yards can be amassed with barely over 20 throws. That's not impressive. That's a lot of dinking and dunking. And on the other side of that, Clemson, which is why I think they lost. No running game at all. And again, some of that might have been the lack of a dedication to it. 38 throws is a lot. Their top rusher amassed 16 yards on 5 carries. Dabo Luther King, are you fucking crazy?
Get your ass down!
You have to attempt to run the ball more than that. You put it on Klubnik's shoulders, you're going to lose a lot of games.
Get your ass down!
Man,
You can't put the game on his
man,
shoulders.
you sorry.
Horrible game by Clemson, but looking at those rushing numbers, looking at the production or lack thereof, looking at the fact that they amassed 10 points in this game as an alleged number 4 team in the country. Once again, so-called football experts.
You rotten bugs! You're all garbage! All of you!
Number 4? Y'all had them at 4? Man, get the fuck out of here. I'm glad to see the Clemson football program deteriorating because of Dabo Swinney's ignorant ass words, assumptions, and he allowed his desire to be in that moment and call out to white America to affect his recruiting, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad that kids have the ability to say, no, I got options. I'm not fucking with you. Clemson is getting what they deserve, and Clemson, rather, I hope to play this many times for you this year.
What's the letter? What's the letter? What's the letter of the day? The letter of the day is L.
This is a tad bit extended, but it's okay. Jungle Butter saying Sluggo bullseye on Cam Moore's debut against Florida. Sluggo said, go ahead and put the cows on buy now, pay later, sir. Yeah, I know I'm on that BS. Sluggo said GSU picked off the lefty twice. I'm about to get there. Early in the game, but couldn't capitalize. It didn't take long before they assumed the Kamala position. Some people... Some people might not understand the significance of that, but if you think about it, you'll understand. One. Sorry about that, man. My apologies. AC was kicking like Bruce Lee. Good God. Since you brought that up, Sluggo, GSU taking on Ole Miss. And again, getting a little bread. They did pick off the starting quarterback for Ole Miss twice. Nice pickoffs, too. Starting quarterback for Ole Miss, Austin Simmons, 20 for 31, 341 yards, 3 touchdowns, and the aforementioned 2 picks. Fumbled the ball but did not lose it. Has to do better about protecting the football. But other than that, I did like, the offense, his ability to read it, to deliver the ball. I mean, as we get into the season, Ole Miss has a hell of a schedule as well. As we get into the year, again, to me, this is the SEC. I think Arkansas has an opportunity. Texas has an opportunity, believe it or not, if Arch Manning can play better football. South Carolina. Ole Miss. Tennessee, if I didn't mention them. I think there are multiple teams that have an opportunity with the talent that they have. The problem is the SEC eats each other, depending on what division you play in, depending on your schedule. Georgia has a shot, whether I like that shit or not. So there are a lot of teams that are viable. You can righteously say they have an opportunity. It's just going to be rough with these schedules. Now, again, expectations of what I want to see. I want to see what happens when they play, stiffer competition. Between 341 yards in the air, and again, playing Georgia State, 200 plus yards on the ground. Again, just doing what you should do against an opponent with less talent. And that's what Ole Miss did. So I'm looking forward to seeing them get into the meat of the schedule as they work on things and, try to get the team and the offense settled and get their culture implemented. And we'll see what happens when they get into the crux of the schedule. But I did like what I saw from Simmons outside of those turnovers. Once he got his feet up under him, I saw what they were doing scheme-wise. I like the aggressiveness, and he made some nice throws. That lefty made some nice throws. And again, if you're going to work on things and turn the ball over, it's better to get it done early against a team that maybe it doesn't hurt you as much. But a nice win for Ole Miss against Georgia State and their quarterback, Austin Simmons. We'll see what that team looks like as they get into the meat of the schedule. And before I go there, because really we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, there's really one main game I want to talk about, and then there's something else. And I got some slight mentions, and then I'll give you a little bit of NFL, and I'm going to get ready to pull the train into the station. But let's continue with the chat. Where are we at here? Sluggo said, I didn't see much of the Alabama game, but it didn't look pretty from what I saw. That's the first game that when I was watching it, I really felt like I was watching some football because I was I couldn't enjoy my game because I'm pissed off at watching that quarterback not be able to. And that's the other thing about it. Brian Hartline ran a very simple scheme and he couldn't execute that shit. 120-something fucking yards. And one of those was a touchdown where he threw the short-ass pass that Tate had to go get. Smith was frustrated last year. Will was terrible. Will Howard was shitty at getting him the ball compared to what he was used to. Kind of used to. But at any rate. Sidney Jackson says, Sluggo, Bama played like a soft Pac-12 team. They couldn't run, and Florida State pushed their D-line around. This is true. And since it's being brought up, let's go there. Let's go there now. Alabama taking on Florida State. Okay, Florida State wins 31-17 against the number 8 ranked team in the country, Alabama. Let's start with Alabama. Defensively, not very good against the run. Not very good against the run. This was a problem last year, and they have to do better. Again, anytime you had this issue the year before, to come into the season with the same issue is telling. It's telling. I'm not in panic mode yet with Alabama. There's more football to be played. And there were some unknown factors in playing Florida State. I'm going to wait and see. Improvements can be made, and we'll see. Defensively, they have to do a better job against the run. They have to do a better job against the run defensively. Situational football. Moments in the game where you need big plays. Alabama didn't come up with many. Now, offensively, Simpson, that quarterback. They chose to go with Simpson. It's too early. I'm not trying to kill him right now. What I'll say is, the positive is I could tell he knew where to go with the ball. He understood the offense. The negative is he couldn't make all the throws, and he was late on a lot of said throws. I watched Michael Penix run this offense because now they brought in the original OC. I've seen a lot of these plays, but it looks completely different with a real general letting the ball fly. So I saw what he was trying to do. Most of the time, he knew where to go with the ball. He made a lot of the throws. He missed a lot of them. When the line did break down, and that was the other side of it, now that we're on the offensive side, the line didn't do a great job of protecting the quarterback. This was a problem last year, but your quarterback had the ability to escape it, which saved Alabama in more games than people might realize and or want to admit. And without that as a factor, now your quarterback's in trouble behind a questionable line when you got defensive players coming for your QB. Because, again, let's be honest. What team had more reason to be hungry than Florida State? You can't play much worse than they did last year considering the expectations. Really coming into that, you had to know those. You had to know if anybody had a chip on their fucking shoulder, it was Florida State. Defensively, better job against the run. Better job of making a tackle when you're in position to do so. Offensively, better job of protecting your quarterback. When I saw that Simpson was the starter, I assumed they had dogs everywhere and they were going to let him get the glory. But if you can't protect him and you're starting him, okay, seems like you're setting yourself up a little bit, but okay, do that. I assume when he was starting, they had the ability to protect him. It doesn't appear to be the case. That's why I'm confused. Positives, he knew where to go with the ball. Perhaps he improves, and perhaps the line improves, and perhaps they can improve with the run defense. Again, much like Colorado, same problems they had last year. Not a good thing. Alabama.
Man, you sorry. Man, you sorry.
Alabama.
Get your ass down.
Simpson was 23 for 43, 254 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not a terrible game, but that's a lot of throws. Top rusher, which was Simpson, had 9 carries. Coaching staff.
Man, you sorry.
Y'all ran the ball kind of on that first drive. To me, I'm sure it's part of your offense because that's what that coach does. It's not like this is, shocking, but you have to run the ball more than that. Y'all were doing a good job of running the ball and imposing your will. That keeps the other offense off of the field. They didn't stay with that. That's not a great adjustment. They were hell-bent on showing you why Simpson was a starter. 43 fucking throws. 43 throws. The top rusher only had 9 carries, and that was also Simpson with 17 yards. Top running back only had 9 carries. 43 throws, 9 carries. I'd have a bigger issue with that if I'm an Alabama fan. I don't think all is lost. I don't think Alabama's going to lose 6 or 7 games or no shit. I'm not on the panic ship yet. Some of that loss is on the fact that Florida State played good ball. I'm not panicking yet on Alabama. I'm waiting. But protect your team and protect your quarterback. Take that down a tad. Maybe just 30 fucking throws. I mean, run the ball a tad bit more, bro. 9 carries for Young. But Simpson had 9 carries. It goes back to the same thing. There are very few situations where I want my quarterback having the same amount of carries as my top running back or more carries than my top running back. Don't understand that. Don't understand that. Not a good game plan. I have a bigger issue with that. That's terrible. On the side of Florida State, Tommy Castellanos. Again, Alabama got to hit you with this.
What's the letter? What's the letter? What's the letter of the day? The letter of the day is L.
Again, positives. Ran the ball pretty well until Florida State decided they wanted to stop it. But again, they didn't attempt it enough. Some of that was the defense adjusting. Some of that was y'all deciding y'all want to throw the ball. And if you're going to do that, you need to execute. But regardless of the defense, less than 10, fuck that. Less than 15 carries, less than 20, fuck that. Less than 10, that shit's crazy. Tommy Castellanos played at Boston College, I believe, for 2 years. Very good talent. I watched him play for those 2 years and be one of the main reasons Boston College was competitive in some of those games. But there's something to be said about a lack of talent. He wasn't playing with the best talent at Boston College. It wasn't like it was scrubs, but it's not equal to that of a Florida State. So best skill set coming down to Florida State, and with Gus Malzahn taking on the OC job. Now, very briefly, in my opinion, and me and my best friend have talked about this multiple times, he's an Auburn fan. And we talked about this part on the show. Gus Malzahn had success with Cam Newton and Nick Marshall, and for some reason he went away from that type of quarterback. Now, in this situation, he gets to Tommy Castellanos, who he recruited at one point. It was always me and my friend's opinion that if he would just pass the ball more out of that offense, it would be so much more productive. Now, he still didn't do that a lot in this game, but he was opportunistic. Now, if he continues to be the Gus Malzahn that's hard-headed and just keeps trying to force the run and doesn't mix in enough passing, it's going to be tough sledding for the offense for the entire season. If he's smart enough to throw the ball more and let his quarterback work, Florida State may have something. Castellanos was 9 for 14, 152 yards. No touchdowns, no picks, no fumbles. I think he needs to have at least 20 throws. At least. 14 I don't think is enough. At least 20 throws. And again, something else I was just talking about. My quarterback can't have more runs than my top running back. He can't have significantly more runs than my top running back. I don't think that is a sustainable way to play football. Castellanos, 16 carries, 78 yards, and a touchdown on the ground. Now, with all of that being said, Castellanos was dynamic and definitely a difference maker in this football game. Definitely a difference maker in this football game. Castellanos.
That boy is good.
You stepped up to the plate, you played good ball, and your team took out Alabama in that game. Now, we're going to see a lot of things coming up. Is Alabama really that bad? Is Florida State really that good? Both probably are not true. I don't think Alabama's that bad. Florida State very well may not be that good. They're going to need more out of that offense than that. 14 throws all year is going to be tough sledding trying to win like that. If Malzahn is still the same guy that doesn't want to open it up and continues to put the quarterback in harm's way, doesn't use all of his athletes, teams are going to catch up, and Florida State is going to struggle offensively to score and maintain and sustain drives. But we will see during the course of the year. Watching the game, it just seems like he put the ball in the air more than I thought, but 14 throws is not a lot. He took advantage of it, I think, with that limited amount of throws. Again, 152 yards. Some guys had barely over 200 yards with almost 30 throws. But again, if he throws the ball more out of those running sets when they can run the ball successfully, it's going to go a long way. It's going to go a long way. It's not like Florida State ran all over him. That's why, again, I don't think Alabama's is terrible. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. There are games to be played. We're going to see. Florida State is in the ACC. I think they have a chance to bowl well in that particular division. I'm interested in seeing them play Georgia Tech. I do not think Clemson can beat them. But again, a couple calls here and there, bad plays here and there, anything can happen. The way that they ran the ball or didn't run the ball against LSU, again, we'll see. Florida State did a good job of stopping the run. Did they do that, or did the Alabama coaching staff do that? Florida State wins 31-17. Big-time win for them against the Alabama Crimson Tide. Nice debut for Castellanos again. I'll see how this offense is ran during the course of the year, what he does, how he we'll see. I just think they have some things they have to do to be successful, and I'm not sure if they're going to do it or not. Quick mention, Georgia defeats Marshall 45-7. That's all you get. Sorry, still bitter.
Man, you sorry.
Still bitter. Oregon destroys Montana State, as they should. Again, you're supposed to destroy scrub teams. Dante Moore, 18 for 23, 213 yards, 3 touchdowns. Didn't turn the ball over. That's about all you can ask when you're playing a scrub team. We'll see what happens when they get into the meat of the schedule, when they really play somebody that's formidable. Florida running through LIU 55-0. Again, and when you play these type of teams, that's what you want to do. You want to basically run your gambit, get some plays in, come out of it unscathed. And I don't know if, okay, I'd imagine because they blew them out, coach got some other people in the game. So Lagway was 15 for 18, 120 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tremel Jones got in the game, 12 for 18, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns. So allowed a blowout game to give some more people playing time. But considering, I don't know, maybe you wanted to let Lagway get some more work in and get ready for that monsters row of a schedule that y'all have coming. Now, only a couple of more mentions, a lot more games, but only a couple more mentions here. Briefly, Maryland wins their game. Maryland takes out. Let's get back to that game. Not the strongest squad in the world. Let me get back to who Maryland played because I actually forgot. Because their opponent was underwhelming. Maryland playing Florida Atlantic. Observations. Maryland, again, Mike Locksley. Appreciate the fact that he's been given time to turn it around. And let's look at the notes. Malik Washington for Maryland. Liked what I saw. I saw a lot of Mike Locksley's offense, throwing the ball to open receivers, do the scheme. I saw ability, a nice arm, knowing where to go with the football. Didn't see the quarterback getting ran a lot. And I didn't see, I forget his name now, but the quarterback he had last year that was underwhelming, couldn't really run the offense, and because of that, had them in a bad position. He couldn't make the reads. Again, Maryland has a decent schedule this year. We're going to see as they get into these tougher opponents, but I like the fact that he has this cat at quarterback. This is actually his first ninja at quarterback. He first had Talia Tagovailoa. Last year, he had my man, I forgot his name, who had waited his turn, but he was underwhelming, and I was disappointed that at one point during the season, he didn't bench that individual. I think he actually might have transferred somewhere, and that surprised me because I didn't think another team would want him. But keep an eye on Malik Washington for Maryland. Like what I saw out of him when they played Florida Atlantic. But again, it's Florida Atlantic. But Maryland this year, looking at the schedule that they have, in my humble opinion, and let me just look again to make sure I'm not just saying something crazy. I believe that Maryland, if Maryland doesn't have, Maryland should not have anything worse, and this is kind of rough to say. I'd be disappointed if Maryland lost more than 3 games. Now, they play that school up north and Michigan State the last 2 games of the year. But prior to that, and again, Washington could be a formidable opponent. So could Wisconsin. UCLA could be better by then. Nebraska. But looking at this, I think this is truly the year a team like Maryland has to win those games. This should be no more than a 2 or 3 loss season for them, if that. Schedule, I think, is in their favor. I think they have a quarterback that can do things they haven't had before. Certain abilities, like athletic abilities, but a better throwing arm than the guy they had last year, can see the field, and he actually has viable backups behind them. So I'm looking for Maryland again to take that next step, and I think the schedule will aid in that. Northern Illinois next, Towson after that. They should easily be 3-0 going into Wisconsin. Significance there, that gives Malik Washington time to get implemented, run the offense, see live bullets, get hit, maybe avoid hits, whatever's necessary to just get more comfortable before they get into the bulk of the schedule. Going to Wisconsin. Washington coming to Maryland. Nebraska coming to Maryland. Going to UCLA. Indiana, Rutgers, Illinois. Then they have that school up north in Michigan State. Favorable schedule. So my main thing there, Maryland, I'm looking for you to do it this year. I'm looking for Maryland to be one of those teams that's in the conversation for the Big Ten towards the end of the year. If not, I would definitely be disappointed in Maryland. But I like the quarterback they have. Again, 1 game, but keep your eye on Malik Washington. Two more games I want to talk about, and then we're going to get off of college football and a couple of thoughts on the NFL before I get out of here. Virginia Tech took on South Carolina. A little slow. A lot of laundry on the ground. You can equate that to, early games, little mistakes here and there, but some unnecessary flags, I thought, but a lot of flags thrown in this game, decent amount. South Carolina wins 24-11. And again, South Carolina, one of the best returning quarterbacks in the country. And they could have done a better job of protecting him. And again, a game amongst two complete quarterbacks. So I enjoyed that aspect of it. My man for Virginia Tech, Drones, definitely had a rougher day. He had a rougher day. He definitely had a rough day. Turned the ball over twice. That turnover at the end of the game really hurt. 15 for 35, 221 yards, no touchdowns, 2 picks is not a good game. Not for a returning quarterback that I expect more out of. And a lot of that had something to do with South Carolina's defense, but you have to do better than that. Not much by way of the running game has a lot to do with South Carolina's defense. Sellers, Lenore Sellers, 12 for 19, 209 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, no fumbles lost. I thought he had a very efficient game. Didn't get to throw the ball a lot. Some of that was the line not being able to protect him and him getting sacked a few times and being under pressure. But he didn't panic. He didn't make bad decisions. Didn't turn the ball over. Added 25 yards on the ground and a touchdown. And had very efficient numbers for a limited amount of throws. South Carolina gets the victory. Now, for me, Drones has to improve of Virginia Tech to be viable. He has to be the leader. He has to not turn the ball over and make some of the throws that he missed against South Carolina. I'm looking for him to get better. If he does that, his team can be competitive. For South Carolina, do a better job of protecting Lenore Sellers. Do a better job. He was under immense pressure against Virginia Tech. And I can't imagine it's going to get any better against SEC opponents. So they need to improve that line and do more to protect Sellers. And I would say he's earned the right to throw the ball more than 19 times. They don't need to put it in the air 40 times like LSU does with Newsomeyer, but he can get more attempts than 19. And again, perhaps he would have if he wasn't taking sacks from a line that couldn't protect him. Nice win for South Carolina. Looking to see more fluidity offensively, better protection. And we get that. South Carolina, again, surprisingly good season last year. I think they can be viable this year as well. So good win for them against Virginia Tech. Tough win. Let's see if we can improve that protection for Lenore Sellers. The night game, Notre Dame, and again, articles versus ability. Notre Dame taking on Miami. 27-24. Somewhat of a good game to watch. Ended up being close, but let me say this now, and I heard things that were contrary to this, the antithesis of this, and I'm confused. Horrible quarterback play in this game. Horrible quarterback play. Very underwhelming. Notre Dame's quarterback, 19 for 30, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Okay, you might want to call that okay standard, perhaps, I guess. Carson Beck, 20 for 30, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns. No turnovers. I heard that game described as great and outstanding.
Bitch, are you for real?
20 for 30, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns is outstanding. When one of those touchdowns was 100% the receiver making an amazing fucking catch on a just throw the ball up, on somebody just throwing the damn ball up. I've seen multiple black quarterbacks throw precision passes to a receiver where the ball would drop in his breadbasket amongst a corner and a safety, and the announcer would say, the black guy just threw it up in the air and he came down with it. But they're trying to give Carson Beck credit for that pass. That was all the receiver. And that was a large chunk of his yards. That was a very average game for somebody who was supposed to be the best quarterback in college football last year, and somebody you paid top-tier money for when he's average as hell. Now, I will say, unless they hid them in the game plan last year, obviously they did a better job of recruiting receivers, because when Cameron Ward broke the college passing record, he didn't have people like that. His top receiver got turned into a tight end when he went to the NFL. They did play Notre Dame, who's known for having good defense. I'll listen to that argument, but nothing about what he did was great. Nothing that he did would make me ecstatic as a fan of Miami. Calm down. Calm down. You're not going to get away with lucky ass throws the entire year. Now, what may happen, it appears he has more skilled receivers. That may carry Mr. Beck. But if the game is on his shoulders, y'all are in trouble. That was extremely average. And I couldn't believe how many delusional people I heard giving him credit for what they called an outstanding game. That is fucking crazy. Notre Dame, if you really didn't want that young boy that ended up going to Auburn and you wouldn't have rather had him as a starter, I question your intelligence, coach. Former Buckeye linebacker. Again, solid defense. Offensively, they're just missing that piece. A little bit through the air, not much on the ground. And some of that, again, is play calling. It's Notre Dame has some athletes out there. They got some good receivers with some size, man. They just don't have a guy that can get them the ball. And it appears they attempted to do so and it went sideways, but I would continue to attempt to do so if I was you, coach. Ended up being somewhat entertaining to watch by way of the score. Nice finish, nice ending. But to me, two teams that have underwhelming quarterbacks that were given credit for something that I didn't see. There was nothing overwhelming, outstanding about either one of those quarterbacks. But I heard that several times and I was perplexed. Miami wins 27-24. Exciting game, big time win. But much like with Ohio State winning, I wasn't impressed with what I saw from y'all's quarterback. If there's something I missed, please tell me. I watched the game. Please tell me what he did that was so great and/or outstanding. I didn't see it. But good win for Miami. Good win for Miami. But again, Notre Dame. We'll see. Again, it's a lot of football left, but good win, good game overall. Entertaining. Good win, but I didn't see anything that had me overly impressed. Miami, I will give you credit for your win.
It's good.
This is the Underground Railroad Show, hosted by your boy, that Ninja. I'm not going to mention that other garbage ass game. Let's see what we got in the chat room. Sluggo said preseason rankings aren't worth the paper they're written on. I'd agree 1,000%. And again, especially when you're starting from a biased place or a place of I'd like to see this team at the end of the year.
Amen, preacher!
You turn that air down even more. Jesus Christ. Does that? Oh, no wonder. What? I know. 1 second. I apologize. Damn, AC kicking like judo. AC straight kicking like judo, boy. Sluggo said, not sure what happened before the game, but one of the GSU players snatched a chain off an Ole Miss player and tossed it in the stands. Maybe that's why Lane ran up the score. I guess he was trying to go viral. That I was wondering. I said, Lane, is that starting quarterback is still in there throwing the hell out of the ball. Damn. That's crazy.
Oh, sorry. That's not right.
Sidney Jackson says, Sluggo, apparently one of Ole Miss players snatched a GSU player's towel, so GSU one-upped them. Oh, Sluggo saying, Sidney, damn. Sluggo said, I forgot to tune into the Feinbaum show. I bet the callers were going off. I'm sure. Sidney said, Sluggo, I bet them Nabiscos were Hulk Hogan finding out his daughter like black dick, man. Oh, Sidney, you a damn fool. You a damn fool, sir. You a damn fool. The great Sidney Jackson said, okay, these chats were in concert. And this is in relation to the Alabama game playing Florida State. And again, I'm in Alabama, so I know what they mean. And how upset Alabama fans were watching that game, watching the results, especially when their team is getting the ball ran on them. Definitely take that to heart. Definitely take that to heart. So in unison and in concert, I forgot to tune into the Feinbaum show. I bet the callers were going off. And again, I don't listen to that, but I'm sure they were. Sidney came back and said, Sluggo, I bet them Nabiscos were Hulk Hogan finding out his daughter likes black dick mad. Sir, I believe you're correct. They were Hulk Hogan finding out his daughter likes black dick mad. Sir, I agree with you 100%. I think they were 1,000% that mad. 1,000%, sure. It's unfortunate, but yeah, it's I mean, again, it's early still. It's still early though. It's still early. There's still more football to be played, and I know it's disappointing. But you know, more football to be had, Alabama fans. Don't trip out. But Sidney, even though that was funny, I think there's something to it. There's probably a chance that, as he said, some of them Nabiscos were Hulk Hogan finding out that their daughter likes black dick mad. I'm sure that's the case, sir. I'm sure that's the case. And temporary freeze, it should be over in a second. I don't know what that was. But yeah, I'm sure. To quote Sidney, Hulk Hogan finding out his daughter likes black dick mad.
Is it true what they say about the way you people are gifted? Oh, it's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. Is it true what they say about the way you people are gifted? Oh, it's true. It's true. It's true. It's true.
Jungle Brother said that Sluggo, 13 Legend called in talking about he got to wear a T-shirt saying FSU is his daddy. It was so funny they replayed it on the 4-letter network. Jungle said Malik Williams got talent. Mike Locksley finally got a quarterback that can go on the road and win. That he can go on the road and win with. That's what I'm hoping, Jungle, and I think so. I'm hoping so, but he looked good out there. He looked good, and again, early, but he looked good. Sidney said, if not for super ninja effort from that Miami wide receiver, Beck would have definitely had at least one, maybe 2 interceptions. True. I mean, they won, and I'm glad they won, but Beck did not look outstanding. Nothing was outstanding about that. Not for somebody that allegedly is supposed to be one of the top quarterbacks in the country. He failed. He's gone. As always, you hear nothing but excuses. Well, it wasn't all his fault. He's still a great quarterback. So many things went wrong. The team didn't really help him. Blah, 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 blah. That was a very average football game he had. Not Cam Ward-like, but nobody thought he was him. We have a Miami fan, Miss Mocha Bella, on the train. What up, Mocha? Thank you for coming aboard. Your team is 1-0, and we'll see what happens during the course of the year. I will say it appears Beck has better receivers than Cam Ward had, and Cam Ward broke the damn collegiate passing record with his receivers, so Beck should be able to do something. We'll see. Mocha saying, Sidney Jackson, I hope your Eagles beat them Cowboys. We're about to get into it. Sidney said, Mocha, most definitely. Dallas hasn't been a threat in years. And with the reanimated corpse Jerry Jones sabotaging his team, it should be light work for Philly. And again, interesting take, sir. And let's go there right quick. So, yeah, time just fine. Yeah, I'm about on my 3-hour mark. I'm not too far off the mark. All right, so right here. NFL starting tomorrow. The aforementioned, as Mocha just said, Philadelphia taking on the Cowboys. Okay, a few things here. And again, let's get over here before I forget about something I wanted to mention. And there is one thing I need to do. Golly, I hate to do that shit, but I kind of have to. Okay. So NFL starting tomorrow. We got Philadelphia taking on the Dallas Cowboys. So Dallas did a good thing by picking up a top-tier receiver in Pickens to help with CeeDee Lamb. Give Prescott another weapon, seemingly doing something to improve the line and help the running game as well. But Jerry Jones did cripple the team by shipping away Micah Parsons by just wanting to be an asshole and, dick measuring contest and I'll give you the deal I want to give you and I'm not gonna treat you like you're the elite player that you are. And to I almost fucked up again. And to Micah Parsons' credit, at one point he said it isn't about the money, which is a very professional way of saying fuck you, Jerry Jones. Now there's a lot of fallout in that Micah situation, but we'll get there. But the main thing and how it affects this game is that you've taken away one of the best defensive players away from your team. Didn't make any sense. And you did it because you were bullshit. And that's on you. And the players know that, but everybody gets paid to do a job, so they're going to do their job. But you hurt your defense by doing that. And no media spin about the running game is going to change that. But it's incredibly interesting to me how the pale media and how the ninjas that they hire in the pale media that follow their narrative, because if they didn't, they wouldn't have a fucking job. But it's amazing to me how they always find a player that is undoubtedly great. They've proven it on the field, and they always have a way to tell you why they're really not fucking great. And in the same goddamn breath, can tell you why an average motherfucker that's never lived up to the expectations that they put on them is still great despite being an average motherfucker that's never won a playoff game, Justin Herbert. It's amazing how people that don't do it on the field, they tell you why they're actually good, and how people you can see are great, they're not really great. Let me tell you why. And let me bring on this black guy to say it so it can seem legitimate, because I look like the racist asshole I am trying to push this shit. And I got to listen to people that don't understand the game repeat that dumb shit. I digress. Weaken the team, getting rid of Micah Parsons. I actually think, and I didn't, let me just get right into it. Should be a good game, to be honest with you. Now, the Parsons thing kind of changes things. Now you've lessened your pass rush. More time for Mr. Hurt to survey the field. Bigger hole for Barkley to run through. More time for the receivers to get into their routes. It's just not a good thing. Now, I think the Cowboys can be competitive. I think they can be a good team this year. It's not going to be because they got rid of a player that's on trajectory to be an all-timer, but it's not because they got rid of a great and very productive player. It's not that. But they have a chance to be productive because they picked up another receiver to give the defense something else to look at, and that was necessary. And when you have a quarterback that can deliver the ball, having two legitimate targets like most successful quarterbacks have is going to help. So I don't think you can downplay or understate the impact of slow down from Georgia. Last name starts with a P. And that is spinning. I just looked down and saw that. Yeah, okay, that's fine. You know what's funny? Not really because of what's happening now. I am going to get rid of my current provider for a multitude of reasons. Prices went up. Can't get human beings on the phone. Site isn't worth a damn. So I am going to get rid of them, but I don't think it has anything to do with that. But moving on. Opening game tomorrow. As I said, I still love collegiate and pro football. If I had to pick one, for me, it's still the NFL. Looking forward to seeing Philadelphia and Dallas tomorrow. Again, it's first game of the year. It's the NFL. We're about to have football all the time now. Saturday college, Sunday pro, Monday pro, Thursday pro. This week, Friday pro. And again, collegiate football is about to, at this point, we shouldn't have as many dead weeks where we're looking at a schedule saying there are no competitive college games. Such shouldn't be the case. So looking forward to seeing this opening NFL game tomorrow. on a Thursday, that traditional opening. The champions taking on the Cowboys. And as I stated before, I think Philadelphia can actually be better offensively. I think Kellen Moore held them back a little bit. You can run the ball with Saquon, but you didn't have to throw the ball. You didn't have to take away so many throws. He did a decent job, but they had the ability to be even more productive, I felt, offensively. And we'll see if they can do it this year. Not sure about the OC they hired, so I'm going to have to wait and see on that. But Jalen Hurts has definitely earned the respect to have input on the offense. I don't think you're ever going to see another coordinator come in and go away from everything that he does well. That's gotten that team to 2 Super Bowls and winning 1. So he's definitely earned his spot at this point. So looking forward to seeing the Philadelphia offense this year. I think it can be even more dynamic because it won't be called by Kellen Moore, who did step outside of himself and do better than I thought he would. I will give him that. And he did name Spencer Rattler the starter. I'll give him credit for that. Time will tell. That does change my feelings about what the Saints may do this year. And just throwing it out there, I need to pick my damn NFL team. And considering the game starts tomorrow, I wanted to do it on air now. If not, I'll declare it like on social media before the game. But I need to pick my team. And, of course, I have them nailed down. You have no way of knowing. And, there are factors, the organization, how they move, the head coach, quarterback has a lot to do with it. And that's the reason why I'm focused in on I got to narrow down to 3 teams now. And I need to pick that before the show is over, which is going to be short. So I'll figure that out. Oh, one more thing I didn't mention in college. One more thing. That school up north has a quarterback named Underwood. Somebody else Jungle Brother mentioned. That ninja's a monster. Once again, articles versus ability. Underwood has the ability they wish a lot of the quarterbacks they were talking about had. And again, I get who they were playing. But the ability to run the offense, stand in the pocket, deliver an accurate football, those things are equal regardless of opponent. And that's what I saw with Underwood. The ball jumped out of his hand. He was accurate, confident, throwing bullets that were right on target. And they weren't running the hell out of him. A la fucking Will Howard. Will Howard had more carries than some of our running backs. No, Will Howard had more carries or just as many as our running backs during multiple games last year. And they're not doing that with Underwood. They're allowing him to throw the ball, which is what he's good at, use his running ability when necessary. Pisses me off, annoys me, bothers me that the Ohio State University apparently doesn't have a viable quarterback. That school up north has Underwood. And they're actually starting him, and he appears to look good on the field. Pause. But he appears to be everything that he's been advertised to be. Unlike Arch, unlike Sand, unlike Newsommeyer, Klubnik, who else they love? People that say Haynes King has a great arm. He's a great runner. He's okay with his arm. He can't throw people open. He does not drop the ball in tight windows. But he's a pretty good quarterback, and his best asset is his legs. The commentary on him would be so different if he didn't look the way that he did. But shout out to that school up north. Not shout out, but I'm annoyed and bothered that they have Underwood at quarterback because, quite frankly, I see I have 1,000 pauses in my feed right about now.
That boy is good.
And a bipolar soundboard. All right, StreamYard. Blaming StreamYard, but perhaps that's another reason. But I believe we'll that's great English. I believe we'll have a good game tomorrow, Philadelphia versus Dallas, opening the NFL season. One more side note on the NFL. The NFL also has a Friday night game. It's going to be Kansas City versus the Chargers, but it's going to be overseas once again. Hey, NFL.
You rotten bubs! You're all garbage! All of you!
Not only do you take these games and take them overseas, you've even done that in college, screwing the fans over the town, everybody that was going to make money from that, and the players that you claimed you care about and you didn't want traveling, but you're sending them overseas. Okay. In the NFL, you're taking our game, the game that we love, that we built, and taking it overseas for profit. Not only are you doing that, NFL, you're putting, and again, for some people, it's not a factor. I'll leave it at that. But you're putting multiple games on different platforms. You're whoring out your product and forcing your customers and people that love the game to have to get on multiple apps and whatnot to view your games. There are so many streaming services that they're going to put games out on this year. NFL, y'all are some low-life, greedy motherfuckers who don't give a damn about the fans or your players for that matter. You care if your players are happy enough to make you money. And you care about the fans spending money. There's no reason to quote Sean Stockman from Boys to Men, y'all are trying to get blood out of the turnip. All these motherfucking stop it. Y'all are successful enough without this. This is too stop it. Y'all are good enough, bro. Stop making it difficult for people to view the fucking game. Stop trying to make people get a damn subscription to this or to that or to this or to that. Stop sending our fucking game overseas so you can kiss ass and make money with those motherfuckers. Stop. They don't send their number one sport, which would be football, over here. If they did, their fucking fans would riot. Which means we should be a tad bit more upset about it. But they're doing way too much trying to quote unquote grow the game. They're trying to do like the NBA. You're never going to be able to get enough people to look the way you want them to look to take over the game. That's why you got this quarterback quota. I digress. But we do have Friday Night Football, which I'm glad to see. It annoys me that they're sending that shit overseas like they always do. That is bullshit. Stop doing that. They're not going to, but they should stop. So we're going to get football back to back. Dallas versus Philly. Then we're going to have Kansas City taking on the Chargers. It's early, man. It's early. Give me Philly, but I think Dallas will be competitive. Kansas City versus the Chargers. Still give me Kansas City. Kansas City's healthy. They fixed the line, got rid of that left tackle that was getting ran through like a Kardashian. I think they're going to be just fine. They had their running backs. They're giving them weapons. Mahomes is still Mahomes. And maybe after these 2 or 3 seasons, that coordinator that came back might be able to recapture some of the magic that Bieniemy had. They haven't been as productive and explosive on offense since he left. Maybe after 3 seasons, Dude can finally catch up with him and allow them to be more consistent. Maybe somebody's going to help him with the play calling. Who knows? But we'll see as the season goes on. But I'll take Kansas City all day long, especially with an underwhelming Justin Herbert still starting for the Chargers. Being overseas, however, that's that changes things. Neither team, and again, you're screwing the fans out of a home game, the team out of a home game. There's so much wrong with. There's so many things that are wrong with this, and the only reason it's being done is for money. But such is the NFL. And along with that, in these streaming services, y'all are some low lights for that. Way too many damn streaming services. Y'all need to stop. Y'all really, really need to stop.
You're robbing us, you son of a bitch. You're robbing us, you son of a bitch.
This is the Underground Railroad Show hosted by your boy, that Ninja Man. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate the back and forth. Just wanted to get into a little football, college and NFL. Looking forward to the season starting tomorrow. And looking forward to seeing what week 2 in college football has for us. I appreciate y'all, man. We're going to get up out of here. I got a couple of things to do, and it is already semi-late. Appreciate y'all, man. We'll see y'all next time. And we'll see if these teams can improve upon what they've done in week 1 in college. We'll see if some teams can bounce back. And we'll see how crisp some of these NFL teams are. I'm really looking forward to the NFL season. There's so many things I want to see. So many guys starting. And one more little side note. And we discussed the amount of black quarterbacks that are starting. And we've talked about how the number was increasing even more at one point. And for me, it seems like they put a quota on it to kind of slow it down. We have Jaden Daniels, Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Jordan Love, Patrick Mahomes, Michael Penix, Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Spencer Rattler, Geno Smith, C.J. Stroud, Cameron Ward. One second. Let's see, what's his first name? I need my ass kicked. Williams for Chicago. Why am I forgetting that man's first name? Williams for Chicago, Russell Wilson for the Giants, Bryce Young for the Carolina Panthers. 16 black quarterbacks starting in the NFL. And that's a great thing. But if they purposely weren't trying to keep that position somewhat white, it would be way more than that, simply from evolution. Something else I'd like to point out, notice there are no say what you want. Multiple freeze frames. Well, I'll tell you. Okay. Outside of the rookies that haven't had a chance to prove themselves, or maybe any second-year players or third-year players getting that first real chance at first real bite at the apple. Everybody that's had an opportunity to play in the league for a while has proven themselves to be somebody. What I'm saying in this is you really don't get to be a black starter when you're just okay. You don't get to Kirk Cousins your way through your career. You don't get to Baker Mayfield your way through your career. Also heard something about how good he was playing. You mean after he failed for 4 or 5 different teams and his team's barely over 500 2 seasons straight, and they relate that to great, and now he has more commercials? He's very average. The only thing about Baker Mayfield is he keeps getting opportunities. And no matter how much he fails, they just say it's everybody's fault but his. It's part of the white quarterback quota. Apparently, there's a certain group of people that can't really watch the NFL if they can't see a quarterback that has a cleft chin and has a superhero or a cleft chin. But it is what it is. We do have 16 starting black quarterbacks, but every quarterback that's given a chance to prove his worth has done so. There are no average scrub. Why is he starting quarterbacks over here? And the only ones you have an argument with are the rookies that haven't had a chance to prove themselves. Interesting. Well, we'll see as the season goes. And again, one of these cats they're looking to replace with a rookie. Another one's first year starting. We'll see how that goes. Everybody else, I think, is fairly cemented. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Thank y'all for coming aboard, man. Appreciate it. We are on the eve of the NFL kicking off, and I'm looking forward to it. Appreciate it, Jungle Man. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to get out of here in an abbreviated fashion. Once again, this is the Underground Railroad Show. I consider this back and forth to be therapeutic, which makes all of you my de facto therapists. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for the session. Hey, appreciate y'all, man. Y'all take care. I'll see y'all Monday at the conclusion of the weekend. We'll discuss what happened in the collegiate and NFL football, or during the collegiate and NFL football weekend. Appreciate y'all. Take care and be easy. And the computer is still pausing. Starting to wonder, is this StreamYard or me? That is interesting. That is really interesting.